All right, guys, we're doing it. We're going to go into this whole entire thing. We're going down a rabbit hole. Apparently somebody named Moo Kitty called out Moist Critical for hypocrisy. It's about time. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really know the context, so there is a lot to cover here before we get to the most recent video, which is how Moist hypocritical. That's funny. That's clever. I guess proved my point. Let's see what we got here. Let's start from the very beginning on this first video from Moo Kitty called "Exposing the Hypocrisy of Twitch Streamers." I mean, I think you should leave people with Threats alone. Am I right, guys? I have that. Let's go.
This video is sponsored by and but remember, nothing our creator says can affect the viewer in a bad way. Why? Because the only thing that matters is consent. Unless it's Trainwreck doing $360 million a year by a gamble sponsor. And suddenly, Twitch has is irresponsible kids that can't make their own decisions. In this
I mean, she's spitting a little so far, you know. Okay.
video, I'm exposing the hypocrisy of the world's biggest streamers. And after my last video, I take accountability if I go too far. And I saw some comments that said that it was not okay. I want to take this chance to apologize.
I hate I hate the video's energy though, but she's spitting a little bit.
So absolutely no. Come on, guys. What is worse? Me calling Cutie a cringe host, or her inviting a convicted.
How are you? I just listen. I understand that this is probably her abysmal form of Cocomelon-esque content, but if you want to have a real conversation about hypocrisy, don't you think it would be better received if you weren't being obnoxious? But okay, who is this? Ariana Grande?
It's worse. Me calling Cutie a cringe host, or her inviting a convicted domestic abuse.
Nico Lull spoke out this weekend, seeking to clear the air about 2018 arrest and night in jail for corporal energy, domestic violence. Forced to go 6 months of anger management. Okay, well that's not good. I guess good thing she went to jail for it and hopefully is a better person after anger management. Okay.
I guess it depends on social status is the only thing that matters. Because then you can be like my favorite streamer XQC. He looked at my video disgusted and said I went too far.
Okay.
That's what it looks like.
Okay, dude. Okay. Yeah, this shit was way too far. Yeah.
Exploitation and objectification.
Come on, guys. What is worse?
What do you mean? Wait, what? That's not your video. What?
Okay. Yeah, this shit was way too far.
What goes too far? Actually, the Unique Cinderella was crying for no reason there. Like, I understand deepfakes are upsetting, but this was ridiculous, frankly. The response was disproportionate. It's not even you. Everybody knows it. Like, you can be upset, but this, like, I'm going to turn the stream on and cry for the camera is obnoxious, and I'm tired of, like, the emotional manipulation from people, so, okay.
Exploitation and objectification.
Come on, guys. What is worse? Me using Q's 2 months old crying video, or XQC
How did she use it? I mean, maybe I just don't know the context.
talking about deepfake in his chat the same day. You
Damn, I don't know what's happening.
became out crying on her stream. Twitch and YouTube is starting to become the one thing we all hate. It's like TV, where real reactions and opinions aren't expressed anymore. Only the opinions that the people with
She's got to spitting. She's got to write about that. Absolutely. That's definitely happening. And people don't even realize that they're not being honest. It's weird. But there are so many like small decisions that like a ton of little decisions that you have to make every time you make a video, or else you could potentially hurt this person and you could ruin your networking here. And that's why your best bet is to never be friends with content creators as a content creator, because you will never be honest if you are friends with these people.
higher status agree upon. If you look at the video where XQC reacted to my video, he didn't laugh one single time. I'm not bragging that I'm funny. I'm super cringe. But if you're a juicer like me, you all know it's weird, because we all know his humor.
This one? This shit was way too far.
Hey! What?
Oh my god, please.
I'm so sorry.
Damn.
What the heck?
This shit was way too far.
Well, I guess his argument would be that she's actually crying.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, okay.
Jesus, that's actually. Oh man, chat, come on. This shit was way too far.
Hi, my name is Clay, otherwise known as Dream.
This shit was way too far.
I'm not going to watch her original video. What did he say went too far? Like, what was the context of what she had said in that scenario?
Dreams. This shit was way too far.
Dad, I got this. broke in your house.
This shit goes way too far.
Damn, that's bad because I saw that one and it did give me a giggle. Okay.
This shit goes way too far.
I think that the point she's making is that XQC is okay with bullying everybody else unless it's somebody that he has a business relationship with them, or like laughing at edgy jokes from them or something. XQC thought her joking about Cutie crying was too far. Oh, okay. I mean, it seems to be okay with every other edgy joke. So, especially since she had no reason to cry. If you want to cry by yourself, that's fine. But that was a massively disproportionate. She had deep fakes. And people knew were deepfakes that like her friend was paying for. It's weird and uncomfortable, but these people, her response was as if she was like horribly assaulted. It was disproportionate, and frankly, I think borderline disrespectful to people who are actual like survivors of assault. Like I get it. Like if you want to ban deepfakes, be my guest. Like that's fine, and you can even talk about how some people might potentially get negatively impacted because they might actually believe it's them. But these Twitch streamers will never have that problem because they are famous, and nobody will ever believe it's actually them. And so like. Okay, well.
This shit goes way too far.
From Chinese state media show. Its military has invested heavily in long-range, precision-guided weapons that can be used to target ships. China's People's Liberation Army.
This shit goes way too far.
But me joking about Cutie's Cringe Award, Ludwig's girlfriend, his best friend, Mr. Beast, that is mean and not okay. Even though I did the same thing she did on a big stage, but she went actually further than me. She went over people's heads because a person with that many sponsors and viewers can't be wrong. Or can they? Let's hear the joke.
I'm a little bit nervous hosting in front of this many people. We sold tickets this year, but I'm trying to do that thing where you picture everybody naked. Thank goodness. I recently got a link on how to do that, so I'll have to use that backstage.
She just made a joke about having a link to see everybody in the audience naked. Cutie and Ludwig said that the big problem was the A-Trick gave awareness to the deepfake.
And I think, honestly, that's one of the biggest ups Atrioc did. Caused a whole new world of harm because so many new people were exposed to this idea and then went out to see what this idea was.
But I'm trying to picture everybody naked. I got a link on how to do that. I'll have to use that backstage. All these media outlets that reached out to all of the girls involved saying, hey, do you want to do an interview? A lot of the girls are like, I don't want to do an interview because I don't want to further the narrative that I'm a part of this. But I'm trying to picture everybody naked. I recently got a link on how to do that. I'll have to use that backstage.
If Atrioc had jerked off to the thought of these men or to their like Instagram,
dude, I don't know.
Is it as bad as actively pursuing deepfake points?
Yeah, it's definitely worse, but we could.
What? Wait, that's worse? What? It's not. Of course, it's not worse. What are you talking about? Whoa, she's ridiculous.
Call my daddy's in the bishopric if you want. You can call Imagine.
Usually you do jokes on your own behalf, like Katie with cancer. But Cutie is doing the joke on the audience, where victims of this are sitting. Reverse the roast and imagine if a guy said to the audience full of women that he has a link where he can see them naked.
Bruh. I do. I'm just
We all know he would
send me your face. Huh. I'm just kidding.
be canceled.
Oh my
But who
God.
am I to have an opinion as a Twitch viewer doing videos on my phone?
Bro, she's kind of right though. The people disagree with her. She's kind of she's kind of smacking balls here, dude.
I'd rather listen to the socialist in his mansion for millions of dollars doing charity streams. Spamming ads.
IRL streams are so much fun, but like they're just not as good as like regular streams. Like
they don't make that money,
you can't
baby.
fucking run the ads. Like,
damn. What the fuck? Wait, what do you mean? I thought he said that he didn't like running ads.
If you want to support this event, this costs a shit ton of money, but it can all be paid back just by getting merch. Shitcamp.gg. There's no sponsor or anything.
Am I going to be reimbursed for the firearms stream?
And then complained to Trainwrecks about giving a 24-hour ban to Aiden Rock for showing poop to his audience.
I don't think your positions have changed so much that you think it's okay to show minors porn, right? I don't think that's the case, right? How many days did he get banned for that off of Kick? How many days did Aiden Ross get banned off Kick for that? I just want.
Well, I think that that's a little bit different. Showing actual like boobies is a little different than advocating or sponsoring like a Fansly. But you could argue. I mean, I think that those things are very similar. Fansly versus gambling. You know, both of those things are going to require you to be 18 or older, but can probably be bypassed through like just lying about your age to sign up for. Both of those things probably require a credit card that you can just steal mommy and daddy's credit card. So if you think that the gambling is bad, you kind of have to think that the Fansly is bad, because they're both not, like, you can gamble responsibly and you can engage in adult material responsibly, but you shouldn't be engaging with these as like a young person, right? So, I mean, you could say that they're both equal, although I guess in my personal value, I don't know. Which one is worse? I mean, they're both not good. I think the issue with introducing it to kids at a young age is that, like, on the internet, you can, like, Google to the fucking moon and back, and you can get to some wild stuff which will desensitize you. I don't know. You know? I don't know. I said that I think gambling might be worse.
Wanted to know. So you didn't ban him. Did he get banned? Did he get banned? Did he get banned off a kick? He didn't even get banned for showing minors porn kick? That's crazy. You didn't advise them to fucking possibly ban the guy for showing minors for a little bit? 24 hours? You think you're...
I mean, listen, I was a minor when I first saw my first booby, you know what I mean? You shouldn't be doing that, Aiden Ross. You probably should get punished for that, but, you know. Kids these days, man.
You get banned.
Oh, yeah, the Fansly ad didn't have age gating. Yeah, that's true. I remember looking at that, and I was like, it's a little inappropriate.
Only for 24 hours for showing minors porn. If you think Twitch, how would you react if Twitch literally fucking banned someone for 24 hours only? Now you got porn on your platform. Now
oh, they banned him for 24 hours? Okay, whatever.
You got one of your main poster boys and kids showing porn to minors.
Can we just talk about how, like, there are times that Hassan is right, but he just, I don't like him. He doesn't sound genuine in anything that he says or does. I just think he's a bad, dishonest person, doesn't care about anything that he says. I mean, before, he always talks about how he doesn't want to run ads, and then, like, he made a comment about how he can't run ads because it's an IRL stream. I feel like, I just don't like him. And you can't even say it's like, I mean, I guess it could be a bias, but, I mean, I kind of like Ethan Klein, you know? So, I can't be biased here, but okay.
Deliberately showing pornographic material to your audience that you know may have actual minors involved in it. Do you think that that is worthy?
Although here, obviously, the point here, I guess I could, is that, like, you know, you're so against, like, showing this stuff to minors, but then you'll show Fansly, which is a direct access to that thing, and you'll be, like, in support of that.
Plus 18. Do you think that's worthy of simply 24 hours? Showing porn to minors, even if it's your first infraction on the platform, deserves longer than 24 hours?
But when his best friend Cutie does an OnlyFans ad...
On top of that, sign in using your Twitch account and see which your favorite streamers are already creating adult content on Fansly.
After a Mario Kart ad for kids, not a single word spoken.
Was it for kids, though? Because I feel like most people who play Mario Kart are smelly adults, you know what I mean? That's just a statistic I found on the internet somewhere, I think. Couldn't link it to you because it's not real.
Seen matter to minors, any transfer or attempt to transfer such utility to a minor under the age of 16, including...
He didn't show... I think he did show it on the stream.
The internet is punishable under the federal law.
And a free trial of some of our hottest creators. On top of that, sign in using your Twitch account and see which your favorite streamers are already creating adult content on Fansly. Fansly has a...
While streaming, Aiden Ross decided to go to Pornhub. I guess to make a point about how you can do anything on the site, showed porn to his audience, and keep in mind, a lot of his audience is very young. They're minors. They're actually...
Again, it is a little different between showing, like, actual adult content explicitly versus, like, a Fansly ad. I know that the Fansly ad, you could still see some, like, pictures. I don't think that they were necessarily inappropriate. I don't remember. I think that they were still a little inappropriate. But I think I was still able to look at them on stream. Okay.
Children.
On top of that, sign in using your Twitch account and see which...
Because in the stream title, I believe he had 18 plus there, which I guess is a legal safety net for him to fall back on.
Sign in using your Twitch account and see which...
Well, so is that is that what it said?
For him to fall back on.
Stream rewards hosted by Cutie Cinderella. Oh, there wasn't even like an age restriction thing on this one. So you can't even argue that they were saying don't come here if you're not 18 plus. Okay, interesting. This girl's spitting. She's kind of spitting, dude.
Sign in using your Twitch account and see which...
So it's still a very fucking creepy and weird thing to do, especially with that audience and on stream.
That, sign in using your Twitch
I don't think it's creepy, but it's weird. Inappropriate, guys. Damn. What is she looking at? Moist Critical? Oh, because he works with... Whoa, dude. It's getting deep. We got the board. Wow. Damn. Well.
Hi guys, thank you for watching. A lot of people want to support the channel. Thank you so much.
Well, interesting. Okay, so she kind of spat. That was pretty good actually. What was the reception of this when it first came out? Were people like, yeah, she makes a lot of sense? Okay, what's the next? The next video is from Moist Critical called Hypocrisy.
Time to go full throttle into the danger zone. No more granny shit. We're gonna talk about a controversial topic: Fansly advertisements on Twitch. This is actually a war that I've been drafted into and tossed into the front lines, so I've been catching fire and getting called out, labeled a hypocrite, and morally flexible when it comes to things my friends do that I call others out for. So I kind of want to talk about this entire subject here because I feel that it's just a load of dirty barnacles to call me hypocritical when it comes to Fansly advertisements. So allow me to show you to your table and deliver your entree of drama that you've ordered. So, the situation in a nutshell. A couple weeks ago, there was the Streamer Awards that happened on Twitch. I was unable to attend them in person, so I received permission from QT Cinderella to watch party them. This was a massive event that QT Cinderella put together. And one of the advertisers for it, one of the sponsors, was Fansly. So during the stream, a Fansly advertisement popped up, and this was my reaction to it.
A free trial of some of our hottest creators.
Did I watch this?
On top of that, sign in using your Twitch account and see which is your favorite.
I think I might watch this.
Creating adult content on Fansly. Fansly has a whole algorithm dedicated to discovering new content and creators through the Fansly For You feature. Swipe and discover today.
A very tame giggle as if someone came up and playfully tickled me for a moment. And people were upset because I didn't start spitting and shitting, taking up arms about how disgusting it was that Fansly was being advertised on this broadcast here. Reason being is because prior, I had made a video talking about a couple of things. One of them was Aiden Ross when he showed porn to his audience. My statement was that Aiden Ross went on Pornhub in front of his audience, which a lot of them are kids on the younger side of things. So I said that was weird. That was a weird thing to do. So when I giggled during the Fansly segment, it was used as a smoking gun to call out and attack me for being a hypocrite, because it's the same principle. Fansly was just shown on stream to an audience that undoubtedly had kids watching. How is that any different than Aiden Ross going on Pornhub? Charlie is a fucking hypocrite. He called it out for Aiden Ross, but doesn't do it when it's his friend QT Cinderella. When I first heard this argument, I thought it was just a bunch of fish paste. I thought it was being used satirically, because it didn't even compute that people were trying to compare these two things.
No, it computes. Like I said, like it is a bit different because one is like full on nudity and the other one isn't. But you're still like advertising this thing to kids, right?
Going on an actual legitimate Pornhub out of nowhere in front of your audience and just having porn, real porn being played versus an advertisement, which does lead to porn, but the advertisement itself has more clothes on than a lot of things that are already freely broadcast on Twitch that are easily accessible. I didn't think these two things deserve to be.
I'm sorry, Papaga, but this is it for me. My mom kicked me out at a
on the same playing field, but that's where I was wrong. I clearly failed the captcha here and was labeled a bot because a lot of people do view these in the same category, in the same wheelhouse. A YouTuber named MewKitty made a whole video on it.
They are in the same category, but again, this is a different proportionality, but I think it's still a reasonable argument.
About Twitch streamers and their hypocrisy, a video that I make an appearance in towards the end, and it's exactly what I just talked about, where I said it was weird when Aiden Ross pulled up Pornhub, but I laughed when Fansly was a sponsor of the Streamer Awards. And not long after her video, Scott Schaefer made content covering the same topic, where, once again...
Yeah, I saw that one.
The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 superstar Charles White comes into the frame once again with another banger cameo. And the argument is the same. Charlie called it out when Aiden Ross pulled up real porn, but didn't call it out when QT Cinderella advertised porn. And he did it because she's his friend, thus he is a hypocrite. And on stream, I talked about this last night, and I'll go ahead and get this out of the way right away. During that stream, and in the exact same video MewKitty has posted on one of her channels, I outright say both are bad. It's pretty clear from reading her comments, not like her personal comments, but like the audience comments, that the majority of the people didn't even watch the full statement, which isn't her fault, and I even don't blame the audience, because right now, the human race is being plagued by brain rot, parasite, short-form content, which has ruined the attention span of people. So I don't necessarily find it shocking that they didn't watch all 10 minutes of what I was saying. But in that clip, I outright say both can be bad, but they are not the same to me. Thus, I disagree that it's hypocritical that I made statements about Aiden Ross and the porn thing being really weird, and I didn't make the exact same statements for QT Cinderella's Fansly sponsor. I'll go ahead and prove that it's there, right?
Did he say that the other one was bad?
No, real quick, before getting into why I think they're so different, but ultimately both are not a great thing to be advertising to an audience that is undoubtedly going to have children watching.
Okay.
Of course, advertising Fansly, OnlyFans, or anything in front of an audience that has younger children on it, it's always going to be not a great decision. It's one of those things, yeah. Now let's make like an egg and hard-boil this subject real quick.
Was that the only thing that he said about it? Okay, I mean, he said it, but is that it? Like, did he go on about it? Okay. I mean, they are different. Again, one is showing actual pornography. Although he did list the stream as 18 plus, guys. Still wrong and dumb to do. Okay.
Quick. So, the difference between Aiden Ross pulling up Pornhub and QT Cinderella bringing up a Fansly sponsor is very clear right off rip. If all of you in the classroom right now have your thinking caps on, you'll notice a huge difference. I was able to play the entire Fansly ad as it aired because they're all clothed. You are not...
That's true, but if we really want to get into the... the whole thing is stupid, but... there's probably a higher chance of people seeing a Fansly ad and engaging with the Fansly rather than the kids seeing porn and engaging with porn. I would say. I feel like people already kind of know porn exists. If you're watching an Aiden Ross stream, you're already somebody that has the ability to access adult material. Versus the Fansly thing, I think that you're like there's a direct link. You're more encouraged to engage in like that parasocial relationship with your favorite creator who also happens to make adult material. You really want to see it because now it's available. Oh, I really like watching Papa God. I can't wait to see his big boobs, you know. So you can make that argument there.
Not getting immediate nudity or pornographic content. It is an advertisement for pornographic content going to the website, yes, but unlike Aiden Ross's moments with real Pornhub just being there, actual fucking full-blown porn, you got pussy, tits, everything, all right there immediately. That is not what you got.
My kind of stream, baby.
Sponsorship. Thus, immediately, those two are already different. Showing the porn to an unsuspecting audience out of fucking nowhere is a lot worse than advertising a service that has porn on it.
Well, if he did say it was 18 plus and it wasn't out of nowhere, but fair enough.
And that's something Scott Schaefer does touch on in his video. His is more of a deeper look at the subject, and MewKitty's is more memeing with it. I always thought her content was supposed to be silly and over-the-top trolling, but she does seem genuinely upset at me, and I imagine it's because of my statements, and I also did say I'm not the biggest fan of the way she edits her content. I called it Zoomer editing, which sounds mean-spirited when I really didn't mean it to be. She edits her videos like very chaotic, on purpose, where it's a lot of...
Oh, you know, it's terrible. Her videos, the way she edits her videos are horrible, just to be clear, but she's still spitting.
Sound effects, you know, like a fucking gong being hit pretty often, or like really loud blasting music pretty often, and that's just never been my cup of tea. But I never meant it as an insult on her honor. It's just not something that I...
Yeah, Fansly is behind a paywall. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I think that the argument more would be that it encourages people to take their mommy's credit card and make a Fansly account so that they can look at, you know, such and such as boobs. With that, like, you know, that would be more of the argument there. Because it's not just adult material. It's adult material of somebody that you know and you like. And that's why deepfakes are becoming so popular, because it's like, oh, you get to see somebody that you can potentially perceive as more intimate. You know it's not them, but like you can be like, okay, but it's kind of them, kind of a thing. So there's a different layer to it versus just looking at adult material versus looking at adult material that is like familiar with you, but especially with the Fansly. So like it's something that's going to play to that parasocial relationship. Because at least I know that's how guys interact with that kind of stuff. That intimate aspect of like OnlyFans and Fansly like makes people want to engage with it more. That's just what it is.
I'm personally a huge fan of, the same way that she doesn't like my content. I didn't mean it to be mean, and I apologize that it may have come across that way. I certainly didn't.
I meant to be mean.
But the whole point of me mentioning this right now is I do want to say that Scott Schaefer did also talk about the difference between playing porn versus advertising the Fansly. He did touch on that. Last night I made the comparison that the Fansly ad actually had more clothing on the people in it than what you would already find on Twitch right now in the hot tubs category, where it is
please shoot tomorrow so I could let you know if anything happens. For me now, I'll just watch my favorite streamer. Okay, well, I appreciate that, man. I'm happy you're doing your thing. Hopefully things are going well with you. Yeah, I'll probably stream tomorrow. If I don't, it's because it's Mother's Day and it's my mom's birthday and Mother's Day at the same time. So keep that in mind, all right, brother?
And very, very revealing clothing. And that is a category that Twitch itself advertises, where it actually had more clothing on the people in it than what you would already find on Twitch right now in the hot tubs category, where it is bikinis and very, very revealing clothing. And that is a category that Twitch...
I never understood the idea of taking a parent's card because the companies notify you when you make a purchase. They don't really notify you. They will send you a bank statement, but most people don't check their bank statements. You should. Like, part of this is parental responsibility. You know, you could definitely argue that as well. Like, the parents should be more involved and not letting their kids look at boobs, you know?
Which itself advertises. If you go to Twitch when you're not logged in, a lot of the recommended channels are hot tub streams, so Twitch itself does peddle content that is clearly sexually charged. My point with this statement was to draw the immediate comparison that this Fansly advertisement wasn't immediately exposing young viewers to sexually explicit material, and it's even more easily accessible for them on Twitch already by just going to the category right next to the fucking Just Chat one. That was the whole point there. That's something XQC didn't quite understand, calling me wrong, saying that there's not a bleached butthole right away or something on hot tubs category. Best checkmate. Hits me with the scholar's mate. That wasn't my point. My point was the ad itself didn't contain any explicit imagery or anything highly sexual, at least nothing that was worse than what is already currently being advertised on Twitch in that category. And when you go to Fansly, there is still not immediately ass and titties in your face right away. Thus, I didn't think by scanning the QR code, people would immediately just be fucking blasted with porn all over the place, like Charles Xavier.
I wish.
If you're jacking into Cerebro. So I viewed the advertisement very differently than a lot of people, because even when you scan the QR code, you still don't immediately get porn. There's already a lot of degrees of separation and a lot of obstacles to go through, as opposed to Aiden Ross, which just pulled up porn as a jump scare during fucking stream, right? It to me, still is very different. I also was under the assumption that Fansly was only accessible to 18 plus after you verified your age. I don't use the platform.
Same thing with Pornhub. But I'm always over 18, baby, even when I was 13.
I thought you had to verify you were 18 plus in order to even get to the pornographic content. Thus, I thought it was even harder for children to have got porn out of that advertisement if they weren't of...
True, but you can make this argument about gambling as well. So if like you have this argument here, you kind of have to have that argument for gambling too. You know, so...
age. Not only would they have had to leave the platform to get it, they would then have to verify their age and make an account for it. I thought there was a lot of steps to it, making it very difficult for them. But according to some research now, it actually seems like Fansly is extremely easily accessible for anyone of any age. There's not a whole lot of security to it based on the things I've read, which is knowledge I didn't have last night. So I made the comparison that the Fansly advertisement reminded me of all of the strip club billboards that are spaced around all of the major interstates. Anytime I go up north to Pennsylvania, there is hundreds of strip clubs being advertised, and on those advertisements...
Where are you talking? I've never seen that before. What roads are you on? Be specific.
There are women in bikinis and very, very revealing lingerie. And they tell you exactly where to go for the strip club. Well, when you're driving through, there's a good chance a lot of those cars are going to have kids in it and see those advertisements.
Yeah, sure, but the kids can't drive to the strip club. That's what makes it a little bit different. You know what I mean? You can easily access a URL code. What? Why does it keep doing... Okay, whatever. But you're not going to be able to let me have your kids going to be like, I'm going to go over to such and such. It's not going to happen, you know?
So I compared Fansly to a strip club.
And then it's also hard to lie about your age if you're like a 13-year-old boy going to a strip club. You know, it's a little bit harder in a physical place. You could still do it, I suppose, if you get a fake ID, but it's much more difficult.
Billboard, because in principle, if Fansly worked the way I thought it did, where you had to be 18 years or older to
and then
enter,
also that
it's
place,
kind of like a strip club advertisement.
That place should also make sure that they have like the fake ID monitoring, whatever. Hey, what's up, Linda? How you doing?
Because a kid could see that, but still couldn't access the content because the strip club would obviously turn them away. Ideally, assuming you're not going to some kind of fucking shady, corrupt strip club. And I thought Fansly was the same way, but apparently that's not the case. So that comparison doesn't work anymore, and I recognize that now. And I also made the comparison to the old GoDaddy commercials, which were highly sexualized content that was broadcast during like Super Bowl, during sporting events, where it was things like a girl with huge honkers, and, you know, her straps like breaking off.
Oh, mommy's
and,
more like it.
And like judges going hubba hubba hubba. And then like
that's probably well, GoDaddy is a website that you don't use, not OnlyFans or anything comparable. It's still a bit inappropriate, I suppose, but you know.
He's trying to say something, and the other one's like wiggling, and then it's like right when it breaks off and about to reveal the giant
Girls Gone Wild. You remember those? Woo!
Milkers. It says go to GoDaddy.com to finish it. And I wasn't really making a big point out of that. I just wanted to point out that man, it really does feel like the early 2000s again with a lot of the internet arguments we get into these days. It's shit we've had for years. History really does kind of repeat itself.
Yeah, it makes you think that none of this actually truly matters if you really think about it, and it's all just like dumb drama, and like all of us that are talking about it, myself included, like what are we really worth? Nothing. Like, let's be real here. We all pretend that we do something positive for anything, but what do our words really amount to? Hey guys, you shouldn't be I watched this bad guy. Fuck. I can't do it. But my point is like, damn, we are all so worthless on the internet. None of us really do anything. You know, what are we really criticizing here anymore? You know what I mean? So many important things, and we just get so worked up. Like, this is like, oh man, this is so important, you know? Just in general. So, all right.
That's a pretty fair comparison. That's fundamentally like the same
Girls
thing.
Gone Wild.
Think of the children. They were watching the sport, and then all of a sudden, sexual content advertisement. So that's all I was really saying with that one.
Okay,
but yeah, in
okay,
closing,
okay,
I feel like there is no real good faith argument to be made that I'm hypocritical because I called Aiden Ross pulling up Pornhub weird and didn't immediately start calling out how weird it was for Fansly to be a sponsor of the Streamer Awards. I feel like the two aren't really comparable. Blasting porn.
They're not the same, but again, I guess their argument would be like you didn't go very hard on it, even though. Why, even what you're saying, you do think it's a negative thing to do, maybe because you're friends with them. That's possible. Okay.
Real porn immediately to your audience.
It kind of makes sense. These people are using more generous to their friends, even if they don't realize it. But okay, whatever.
Nowhere, no warning, and right in their face, just on stream, is completely different than an advertisement to a platform which does have porn, but a lot.
Oh, I have to make merch myself. We need Hey Linda merch. True. I got to make merch in general. That's what I was supposed to do in my week off, and I did not do it.
Of things that they'd have to do in order to access.
How about some merch
Granted,
like
I've
this?
now learned that it's easier than I thought it was. I still think the two are drastically different. So I still just don't think it's hypocritical. As I've said, neither one of them is great. I don't think either one of them is an amazing thing to do, but they are just not the same, and it's really fucking silly to pretend that they are. They are very different.
Very different. Yeah.
And, that's about it. Really, just wanted to talk about it. See ya.
That's okay. Let's go to the next one then. This one is Moist Critical Can't Stop Lying.
Hypocritical lied so much about me and the situation
Put her money where her mouth is.
that I was forced to re-edit my whole video and now debunk every single lie that was made. Everybody, including me, is tired of this subject on him defending promotion of porn to kids. But I'm making this video to show you in detail the real.
You know who would defend that kind of content for kids? Me when I was 13. Let me just be real with you, okay? Because it was phenomenal. When you're a little kid, you're like, whoa. Now, if I knew I would turn out to be the way I am now, desensitized, and sometimes watching interesting stuff, I would be like, cool, you know, back then. But now I realize it's not good, especially since here's one of the biggest problems. Sometimes I look at some wild stuff. Everything's legal. Don't worry about it, okay? But I don't feel shame afterwards anymore. I used to be ashamed of myself after I would look at two girls fighting over a cup. But now I'm just like, hey, I'm going to spill water all over my shirt. But now I'm just like, you know what? Let's play Clash Royale, you know? Right after I'm done. So, you know, that's the pipeline, guys. That's the pipeline.
Side of Moist Hypocr1tikal. So now I'm gonna debunk every single lie.
Damn.
How he manipulated
I'm starting to like the energy.
misrepresented me for millions of people that I'm never gonna get to prove wrong. After this video, you will not see his videos the same way.
Damn.
First lie, manipulates the narrative that he already said both are bad. But that clip happened after my video.
Oh, did it? Okay.
When his own fans has pressed him for 1 week for saying nothing.
And on stream I talked.
Is this real? Damn.
And I'll go ahead and get this out of the way right away.
Bro, growing up is realizing 2 girls, 1 cup was not that bad. It's true.
During that stream, and in the exact same video MewKitty has posted on one of her channels, I outright say both are bad.
He never say outright both are bad. All the streams is on my second channel. He defended himself and argued with his viewers for 10 minutes. And after a long battle, he said it's not a great decision.
But you want to know what? If I'm going to be absolutely real with you, okay? It seems like Charlie's in the wrong 100%. I respect it. And let me explain to you something to you, okay? There's nothing worse than somebody who instantly rolls over when they get criticism. There is something to... I'm not even kidding, by the way. You know, it's not good to be wrong, but it's even worse to, like, once somebody thinks you're wrong, to instantly fold before you're ready. I can't respect people like that. I'd rather you be, like, wrong until you're, like, proven wrong and you think you're right because you believe you're right still. Than the kind of person that's just like, oh, but you said that I did a bad thing. Oh, yeah, guys, I'm really sorry. You know, here's some apology with tears, you know? So I do respect that. I do respect it. Okay, you gotta.
But never said both are bad.
I outright say both are bad.
And this lie is important. He lies that the viewer didn't hear the full statement.
You know what? You know what else that we could say? This is something that we should really do on the internet. This is something that I like to do. I don't have a strong opinion on this either way. Like, you know, that's how most of the content I engage with. I'm shitting. I'm playing video games while I watch somebody with some stupid thing that doesn't really matter to most of us. We don't really care. But it's like fun to watch. But like, I don't have a strong position necessarily. But like, you know what I mean? Like, and even this, like, who gives a shit? I mean, like, okay, they probably shouldn't be doing some of this stuff. Whatever. We got bigger issues. Have you guys heard of child poverty, guys? What about this? You know, no, but it's not necessarily that big of a deal. But it's interesting. But people should comment. They should say that stuff more often.
The clip he's talking about is from the day before this recording, which is weeks after the call out.
Pretty clear from reading her comments, not like her personal comments, but like the audience comments, that the majority of the people didn't even watch the full statement.
The next slide is also very important, and it's done many times, where he words, I didn't do the exact same statement, when he didn't do any statement at all.
Thus, I disagree that it's hypocritical that I made statements about Aiden Ross and the porn thing being really weird, and I didn't make the exact same statements for QT Cinderella's Fansly sponsor.
He keeps pushing on this narrative that we missed the clip. That proves he's not a hypocrite. But the clip is after my video, the day before this video. So he uses the word prove, which in the viewer's minds means that he's proving something. But the clip is after my video. Guys, do you understand?
I'm picking it up.
Is after my video. Weeks after.
There's nothing more attractive than a strong, independent woman, guys. Of course, I'm talking about my wife, you silly gooses. But she's spitting, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
I necessarily find it shocking that they didn't watch all 10 minutes of what I was saying. I'll go ahead and prove that it's there right now, real quick, before getting into why, of course, advertising Fansly, OnlyFans, or anything in front of an audience that has younger children on it, it's always going to be not a great decision.
Imagine how many people felt this. Look at Asmongold's reaction.
I think that Charlie absolutely is in the right to make a video like this, even if like I feel like it's not as different as he's leading on to. At least I don't think it is. Fundamentally, like somebody made a video about him and misrepresented him, and then made him look bad because of the misrepresentation. I think that sucks. That absolutely sucks. There's no like. They didn't? Well, they did though, right? Because so showing a clip of him laughing and then not showing the context of him saying later on, like that it was weird. That's intentionally disingenuous. Like you're not going to convince.
He also said it was creepy with Aiden Ross, which by the way, it's not creepy for like that to happen. It's weird. It is inappropriate. I feel like the word creepy is like very intentional. It's like, oh, it's creepy that Aiden Ross showed people only. Is it really though? What intentionality are we assigning to Aiden Ross showing him that he thought he was like a stupid, immature little asshole? You know.
Convince me that not including that is intentionally disingenuous.
This shows how dangerous hypocritical is. The which and makes the viewer look at the situation from the false
She's
lens.
spitting
He then
facts
lies about
here,
Fansly
dude.
having a lot of obstacles.
So I viewed the advertisement very differently than a lot of people because even when you scan the QR code, you still don't immediately.
I viewed it differently because I liked streamers and I subscribed to it on my mom's credit card, so you can't prove it was me.
There's already a lot of degrees of separation and a lot of obstacles to go through.
What happens? This is crazy that this website is being promoted in front of hundreds of thousands of children because as soon as I go to the homepage, I am instantly greeted with an open vagina despite the account being underage.
He lies about now saying a statement
Whoa.
immediately, which indicates to the viewer that he did say one, when he never did. Guys, he didn't until he got called out.
I'm hypocritical because I called Aiden Ross pulling up Pornhub weird and didn't immediately start.
Then lies again that it takes a lot of stuff to access it, when he just said that anyone can access and you only need your Twitch account.
Imagine explaining this drama to a grown adult in the real world. Like, what happened? There's a thing. So there's this thing called Twitch, and people were gambling on it. Okay, and that's not good. Okay, because little kids can see it. Yeah. But then there's these creators, girls, who make basically, adult material, and they advertise to their fans. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. That would be your response. Like, this is how I like to think. What would this fucking 45-year-old trucker think about this? And if he doesn't care, I don't care. I'm with Harold on this one. That's why you shouldn't pretend every bit of content you talk about matters. Like, oh, guys. Hey guys, today I found out that hot dogs were made of dead animals. I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do the critical voice. My point is that sometimes you gotta lower the energy. Have a be like, hey, maybe this isn't a big deal. I don't know. Just saying, dude. This is a silly debate, but it's funny.
Completely different than an advertisement to a platform which does have porn, but a lot of things that they have to do in order to access it.
He then
Yeah,
ends
like
the video with saying
you stick
neither
fingers.
is great, but he only called out one, which is the point. But
That's
he
true.
still doesn't think he's a hypocrite. This is the best example of a
Well, in his defense, what he's saying is, I don't think this one is as bad, and thus I didn't feel it was appropriate to call out. So he kind of has a point there. At least, But you still do have like a decent point of saying, like, well, why didn't he make a specific video about it? He made a video about this. Why not make a video about this and say, hey, this isn't good behavior? But like he said, he thinks that they're like, I don't know if it's hypocritical. But
hypocrite in denial.
So I still just don't think it's hypocritical. As I've said, neither one of them is great. I don't think either one of them is an amazing thing to do. So I still just don't think it's hypocritical. Neither one of them is great. So I still just don't think it's hypocritical.
He says both are bad.
yeah, well, I don't think that peeing on the floor and pooing on the floor are as bad as each other. But pooing on the floor is worse. That's the point that he's making here.
Or in other words, neither is great.
You have to prove that what happened that was wrong is on par with something else that he would generally call out. I don't know if you could, although if he specifically made a video, I don't know if this is true, so you guys would have to, bring this up. If Charlie has made a video about how Twitch hot tub streamers shouldn't be a thing, then he is hypocritical for not calling out the advocation of Fansly to his potential underage fans. That's where your point of hypocrisy is really going to come from. I don't know the answer to that. People might even say you've reacted to a video of him saying that. I don't really know. I don't internalize everything I talk about. So, you know what I mean? So.
If the only one he called out was a stranger and the one he didn't was his business partner. Guys, how is this hard to understand? It's very simple. The subject was never which one is worse, but he changed it, so automatically everybody agrees. But that's not the point, and it was never the point, not in my video, not of his own viewers, not of anyone that called him out. Now, let's hear all the lies about me, and how he mispresented me in front of millions of people. He says I don't like his content. Big lie, I've never said this.
Something that I'm personally a huge fan of, the same way that she doesn't like my content.
He also lies that I'm genuinely upset with him.
Well, you probably don't.
When I've never expressed anything against him.
That part, actually, funny that she mentioned that, because I listened to that and I'm like, that is, not okay. I'm gonna give too much mental energy to this. It was interesting because he wasn't even the focus of the video. He was kind of part of the video, and she was just like, "Hey, this is hypocritical." It doesn't necessarily mean you're upset with somebody, but he made like a pretty grandiose statement to say like, "You're upset with me." If any, you could argue. This doesn't matter. This whole situation is stupid, but you could argue that he was intentionally trying to hype up her negative emotions to him to try to make it seem like she's just a crazy person that's so obsessed and negative and hates me so much. And, you know, you can argue that. You can argue that.
I always thought her content was supposed to be silly and over-the-top trolling, but she does seem genuinely upset at me, and I imagine it's because of my statements, and I also did say I'm not the biggest fan of the way she edits her content.
Damn, me neither, but it's growing on me. I will say, it's starting to grow on me.
Video and keeps lying even more.
I just can't even understand there's a real debate. I know Mew Kitty's really upset.
He starts lying about me saying Aiden Ross did the exact same
this? Oh,
thing
scary.
when I've never said that.
I'd like her to put her money where her mouth is. If she really thinks that the Aiden Ross Pornhub situation is exactly the same as the QT Cinderella one, then I want her in her next video.
Then he lies about saying both are bad and called one.
A lot of her focus of her video was about gambling and stuff, and he didn't really talk about that.
Weirder, which indicates that he called cuties weird when he never did.
I don't know how many times I have to say they're both bad, but one's definitely worse, which is why I called it much weirder.
And keeps on lying about doing it much quicker, but quicker than what? When he never
Quicker
did it.
than me.
And that is why everybody's calling him out.
But one is definitely worse, which is why I called it much weirder and much quicker.
And one of the most biggest lies is
Most
that he
biggest,
said that it was not good and he was uncomfortable when he saw the ad on Streamer Awards. This never happened.
As opposed to laughing. And then saying that, yeah, that was uncomfortable and not good.
Let me prove it for the lazy ones.
Okay. Call me lazy, kind of rude, but...
Sign in using your Twitch account and see which of your favorite streamers are already creating adult content on Fansly. Fansly has a whole algorithm dedicated to discovering new content and creators through the Fansly For You feature. Swipe and discover today at fansly.com.
I gotta tell you, I'm not too confident about that.
Click the checkbox and subscribe.
This is just my little tinfoil hat conspiracy. I think Prime's on its way out within the next 2 or 3 years. Prime won't exist. They lose a ton of money on it.
Damn, she's going
that's
in.
all good.
That video was amazing. I want to say a huge thank you to our sponsor, Fansly, for sponsoring the Streamer Awards. Make sure you follow the Fansly account for exclusive behind-the-scenes content and get a free trial of their top creators only at fansly.com/streamer awards. Speaking of artists in our community, can I get everyone on their feet?
Damn. Charlie, what do you... Just take the L, dog. He must have taken... He's taken the L already, I'm assuming. He's like, yeah, I messed up, guys. Sorry. Like, that's pretty much what happened next, right? Dude, he's getting roasted. Damn, son.
So welcome our next musical act.
Oh, we have live music? Who we got?
Okay.
Joe will be joining us.
Oh, I love that guy. Wait, that guy's so fucking hype. Let's get it.
That's the next act, my singing vagina. Like, what's... What's happening
There's an 18 verification when he just admitted in his video that he posted that there isn't.
He's saying there's no 18 plus tag on the Fansly ad, whereas you have to verify being 18. Yeah, but on the actual porn website, you have to verify being 18. So we're going to talk about verification, and you would still need to verify you're 18 to see the porn with Fansly. I thought you had to verify you were 18 plus in order to even get to the pornographic content, but according to some research now, it actually seems like Fansly is extremely easily accessible for anyone of any age. There's not a whole lot of security to it based on the things I've read, which is knowledge I didn't have last night. Still need to verify.
Bro, stop pretending like you didn't sign up. You know what I mean? Get out of here. All right? Get the hell out of here. Like you weren't curious about like your friends' OnlyFans. Like don't bullshit me, none of you guys. If your like friend made an OnlyFans, you would look at it. You may not look at it in the way that it's intended to be looked at. But you might like, you know, listen. If like if like let's say my wife's friend or something made something like that, she's telling me we should go sign up for this and take a look. You know what I'm saying? I'm curious. That's what she'd say. I wouldn't say anything. I literally don't have eyes for anybody but my wife because I'm a loyal husband. I'm just saying though, you would be curious. You signed up for it. Admit it.
Verify you're 18 to see the porn with Fansly.
He then keeps on brainwashing the narrative that he didn't do it immediately when he never did.
I mean, I'm going to be real with you. I would look at the male friend too. Like, I would be curious too. Like, I don't care, you know?
It's a lie, guys.
But one is clearly worse than the other. The one that I talked about in the like immediately after it happened. And then the one I didn't talk about immediately after it happened.
And now he lies again and said that it was kind of weird.
He's getting
when I just
cooked.
proved that he didn't.
Immediately after it happened, I laughed and then said later, wow, that was kind of weird.
He then lies about me harping on him and bringing him up. I think this is to make his fans defend him, but I never harped on him.
That's her whole point. Why does she keep bringing me up and harping on me? Because I laughed at it.
Even his own viewers refute that lie.
Not harping on you? She made 3 tweets about me today alone. What are you talking about?
I just posted some memes and those was after the video I showed.
Okay.
Now that I've shown how much he lies, I'm gonna touch on why he's a hypocrite. Same thing happened when they tried to scam their fans with overpriced computers. He only changed when they exposed him. Then suddenly criticism exists.
I knew that brain dead take was coming. What is the point of criticism if you don't want to see a change?
But not for a single scammer that he made a video on.
So we tried to take this down according to the mods. Props them for not backing down. And the Saudi Arabia guys removed. We said no. I mean, as in talking about trust and claims that well, mods banning anyone criticism in the new
What the fuck are they talking about with this one? I'm a little out of the loop.
company. Jesus.
And on the Miskiff incident, the owner of Starforge, which he is a co-owner of, he never mentioned his name in the video. Is that a coincidence? Well, when Rich Campbell got kicked out of OTK, he didn't make a video on that either. So I see a pattern, and I called it out.
So the Rich Campbell thing, I don't think a lot of people made the video about that. I think a lot of people said like they don't have enough information about it and they don't really want to talk about it. Okay.
So that's why he's
She's sending me to the mental hospital for some reason when we get out. Okay.
Let's go Philadelphia 76 CRS win tomorrow.
Thank you for the donation. Well, maybe it won't be such a bad thing to go and check it out, man. You know, they have really nice socks there. You know what I mean? Don't look at it as a negative. Maybe it'll, you know, maybe you can use the rest, man. Maybe you're under a significant amount of stress. You know, don't think about it. Like my wife is in the mental health field. Don't think too negatively about it. You know, we all need help sometimes. That's how I met my wife. I was one of her patients. No, I'm just kidding. But God bless, man. Like just take a deep breath, and you're in good hands. So don't worry. All right.
So mad and lied about everything.
The Moo Kitty video, Moo Kitty says, Moo Kitty's really upset. I'd like her to put her money where her mouth is. If she does that, then yeah, absolutely, I'll eat shit on it. I would love to see her do the Aiden Ross Pornhub moment. Oh, I'm not even talking about X. I just saw Moo Kitty's response. I'm like I said, I'm pretty sure she just trolls. It was her just once again saying coke, but she seems like legitimately upset and like, and again, I'm saying if she really feels that way, Moo Kitty's whole point, then in her next video, she needs to play that's her whole point. Why does she keep bringing me up and harping on me? If she wants to critique QT Cinderella, clearly not her whole point. She made 3 tweets about me today alone. What are you talking about? Or Moo Kitty's here, I'd love to talk to her.
So, for the slow people, why Moise is a hypocrite is because he didn't say anything until he was called out by me, a small YouTuber. And even after getting called out by me, it took him a whole week of his own fans pressing him every single day on live stream for him to say something, which he was aware of.
Why do I keep getting this question? Are you talking about the Moo Kitty video?
And when he responded to this, to the promotion...
She does seem like quite a fan here. She really dug through everything. Holy shit.
...of porn to an audience full of minors, his response was, yeah, it's not a great decision. It's just one of those things.
Of course, advertising Fansly, OnlyFans or anything in front of an audience that has younger children on it, it's always going to be not a great decision. It's one of those things, yeah.
One of those things? Like it's a daily thing we all do? Do you guys promote porn on a family-friendly show daily? What does that even mean? The guy is minimizing a disgusting thing for 10 minutes and the
Well, let's not pretend it's like the most it's not ideal, it's inappropriate, but it's like, listen, we were all looking at it at that age. So like, hey, it's not great, but it got me through some hard times. You know what I'm saying, dude? Sometimes it even created those hard times. It always created those hard times, but it got me through them, okay? It got me through them. It's still inappropriate, but I think we'll survive. You know what I mean? It's like giving a kid a beer. Whatever, you know? As long as they're around family. Am I right, guys?
Reason? Because it's his business partner.
I didn't realize that was my group. You realize I never talked to QT, like, in my life outside of DMs? What are you talking about?
He changed subject and started putting...
Well, that doesn't really matter, though, outside of DMs. So in the internet age, people become friends and have interactions online, so that doesn't really matter.
Fingers like a little child. But the main point remains. If I didn't call it out, he would have never said anything.
You're
and
right, because none of this matters.
Business partner. So, if Moist Hypocritical admits that the ad is wrong, then he is a hypocrite because no statements were made. But if you think it's not wrong, then...
Also, there's an argument, too, here, is that it's hot topics to dunk on Aiden Ross sometimes, and, like, you know, some content creators will follow the flow. We all do it a little bit. You know, there's times I talk about a topic because it's hot, right? Most of the time it's because you guys send it to me, and, you know, I'm like, okay, whatever. But I'm just saying.
And can you explain the law to your friend?
Obscene matter to minors. Any transfer or attempt to transfer such material to a minor under the age of 16, including over the internet, is punishable under the federal law. Oh shit.
So I challenge Moist Hypocritical to debunk all these lies, or you will always be remembered as the head of Pinocchio.
I love that picture. Wait, what was that?
You will always be.
This is incredible. Look at this thing. Look at the fucking schnoz on this guy. That's incredible. I love it.
Remember as the hairy Pinocchio.
Harry Pinocchio. Incredible stuff. Beautiful stuff. Send this to the streamers and follow. Let's see. Okay, let's see. The next one is I'll take the bait from Hypocr1tikal.
Yeah, today's one of those days. Just like chips and salsa at a Super Bowl party, I'm about to double dip in here into some drama. Last week, I made a video talking about hypocrisy. In a nutshell, the situation was two YouTubers, Scott Schaefer and MewKitty, made content talking about Twitch streamers being hypocrites due to the promotion of Fansly during the Streamer Awards, and I was named in both of these videos, because prior to this, I had mentioned that it was very weird when Aiden Ross pulled up Pornhub on stream in front of his audience, which consists of a lot of kids, and meanwhile...
You said it was creepy as well. Like, let's keep that in mind, which is weird. It's a little disproportionate, but okay.
When Fansly was advertised during the Streamer Awards, I just laughed at it. So that's where the hypocrisy allegations come from. That's the genesis of it. And I thought it was an interesting talking point because of the subject matter, but I also wanted to defend myself from hypocrisy allegations that I felt were weightless. And that's what that video I did was all about. Now, Scott Schaefer, as I mentioned, tackled it from more of like a analytical standpoint, breaking down the problem itself, and I still do believe that his intentions are coming from a place of actually caring about the situation. However, the same can't be said about the other content creator, MewKitty.
Why? Wait, what do you mean? Wait, I don't know. He kind of did this last time. Why don't you think that she's being genuine? Why?
In the video I made covering this, I was very...
They're talking about both of them.
charitable with her intentions behind the content. I thought maybe I was wrong and got the incorrect impression on what her content was focused on. I thought it was satirical and ironic and trying to be silly on purpose with subject matter. And I apologize for saying things that may have come across mean-spirited or made it sound like I was shitting on her when that really wasn't my intention. Especially considering we were both playing on the same team. I feel like we're both saying these things are bad. And for some reason, she's at my throat about it because of one difference in that I think showing Pornhub to the audience was worse. Not that that excuses the Fansly promotion, which again, I have never once defended or said was a good thing, but this slight difference in perspective on it has led to all of this hostility.
Well, that's kind of him admitting that he never said it was explicitly a bad thing until he was called out. When he said, I didn't say it was a good thing, you know, that means, I think her point was that you didn't, okay, whatever.
And I tried to explain that in the last video because I thought maybe there was just a misunderstanding there, but she took the last video as more of a declaration of war. And another thing I want to come forward with right away, and I didn't think this needed explaining either, one of the core points that she as well as others are making is that this is actually a very insidious plot that I'm hiding on purpose because Ludwig is my friend and QT Cinderella is his girlfriend.
Nobody's saying it's insidious, I don't think. I think most people are just saying like, hey, you're kind of engaging. I guess it would be some form of nepotism in some capacity. You're being too charitable to your friends.
QT Cinderella ran the Streamer Awards, she was responsible for the Fansly promotion. So people were saying that I'm, you know, excusing everything she did because she's Ludwig's girlfriend.
And in her defense, like, you know, you didn't call it out when you first saw the porn ad. You could have been like, "Oops, you could have just been like, oops, that's a little sussy," you know. But
I didn't think this needed explaining. This is gonna be a common thing. I didn't think a lot of this needed explaining. I'll do it anyway. I've now said in like 5 videos over the last 5 months, I don't see eye to eye with anyone all the time, even my best friends. So even though I do respect QT and of course I respect Ludwig, I consider them friends. I didn't see eye to eye with QT on this. Thus, I wasn't going to pretend like I did and defend it. I don't do that for anyone, not even my best friends.
Okay, but that's not really what's happening, right? It's not about like what he's defending. He didn't really call it out, and now it's very in the public stratosphere or public opinion at this point. And even Ludwig was talking about it at this point, because I remember watching a video about that. So, like, now it's almost like it's safe to talk about. Does that make sense? When you probably should have just been like, well, that's inappropriate, immediately.
This wasn't some kind of secret association that was kept under wraps. I'm very public about Ludwig and I being business partners with fucking Moist Esports, for example, and we do a lot together. That doesn't mean I'm just going to look the other way on things that I feel differently about. I don't do that for him either. It's not just QT. I have actually talked about things I disagree with Ludwig on publicly as well. This isn't like some kind of big gotcha where it's like, ah, turns out Charlie does know QT. This is why I didn't say anything. This is not the truth. And I did say it wasn't good. And now it's become clear after her most recent upload as well as everything she's been posting on Twitter about me that little yucky spidey sense that was tingling in the back of my head telling me that she's probably just trolling to get a rise out of streamers to farm it for personal gain was unfortunately correct. And
I don't think anybody could watch even her first video and assume that she was just trying to troll streamers for attention. I'm just gonna be real, like, none of that came off. Her editing is cringe as fuck, but like no normal person would have watched that and been like, she's just trolling, she's kidding. I think that this might be, listen, I'm really digging into this now because I feel like some of this is a little dishonest. I feel like this is all just an attempt to try to just downplay her credibility as a person, rather than just engage with the argument. It could be wrong. My spidey senses are tingling.
And I'll go ahead and take the bait one more time here. I'll play along and eat this entree of medium well internet beef that she's serving up. She's been egging me on Twitter today to debunk all 20 lies she's caught me on in her most recent video.
Okay.
So I'll accept the challenge. I'll take the cinnamon challenge here and go through MewKitty's most recent upload. Moist Hypocr1tikal can't stop lying.
If you're coming here to see me troll around, I can't anymore.
Oh, we're
You're hypocritical like so much about me and the situation.
Put her money where her mouth is.
That I was forced to re-edit my whole video and now debunk every single lie that was made.
Obviously, I need a huge apology to MewKitty and her whole community because my video was such a stinker that it's impeded her ability to make her regularly scheduled trolling. But I do want to come out right away and say that her calling me hypocritical, the play on words, hippo and then critical spelled like my name, is actually such a banger because that is a meme that started on my stream like 6 years ago when I was still streaming on YouTube. I was playing Fortnite and I bought the battle pass for the John Wick skin, and chat fucking erupted when they saw me playing with it because I had for a long time talked about what a big waste of money the battle pass is. You're a fucking troglodyte if you buy the battle pass, and then fucking John Wick skin comes out, it busts down my resolve and I spent money on it. So chat called me hypocritical just like this, and it became a bit of a meme. So to see her unironically using it here is almost nostalgic to a certain extent, but she's clearly using it to be combative as opposed to like jovial and kidding around.
Everybody, including me, is tired of this subject on him defending promotion of porn to kids.
We're not even 30 seconds into this video and she's already told her first lie, which is ironic. It almost makes her seem like the hypocrite here. She says that I have defended the promotion of porn to kids. Do you have any evidence to back that that up? Do you have a clip of me saying that what QT Cinderella did with promoting Fansly during the Streamer Awards is good? Defending it in any way? Because as far as I can recall, I have only ever said that it's not.
Again, her argument would be like, since you didn't say anything negative about it, would be like a defense of it, considering that's something that you normally would criticize. And since you didn't Moist criticize that when you watched it live, it seems like there might be an ulterior motive, especially since you're friends with these people.
Decision, and that as well as Pornhub that Aiden Ross brought up on stream are both bad. I've never once said that what she did was good or defended it or defended her for the decision to do it. But she likes to tell her audience that I have without ever showing any clips of me doing it because it hasn't happened. That is a blatant, bold-faced lie.
First lie, manipulates the narrative that he already said both are bad. But that clip happened after my video, when his own fans was present for 1 week for saying nothing.
And on stream I talked about this last night, and I'll go ahead and get this out of the way right away. During that stream, in the exact same video Kitty has posted on one of her channels, I outright say both are bad.
He never say outright both are bad. All the streams is on my second channel. He defended himself and argued with his viewers for 10 minutes. And after a long battle, he said it's not a great decision, but never said both are bad.
This is a pretty interesting angle to try and play here, trying to catch me on not saying verbatim both are bad until the video went live, even though I had explicitly said that it wasn't a good decision, which you outright acknowledge in this clip here in your video. And the point I was making in the last video is in that same piece of content you posted on your second channel proudly, I do say it is not a good decision. I don't understand why she's trying to make this argument here.
Well, the problem with any of this that clears all this up is that she showed you watching the whole thing, and then you didn't say a word during it. So she's probably right. That's the most big. Hey, what did he say during the stream of the Fansly plug? He didn't say anything the entire time. So you didn't say anything. And it's what her argument seems to make sense, that you only recognize it after people were like, yo, what the fuck? Afterwards. So you kind of, okay.
Acting like her whole audience has their brain off and can't understand what it means when I say something is not a good decision. That means it's not good, thus is bad.
Yeah, but
and since I'm
when
talking about the QT Cinderella Fansly promotion moments, that is me saying it is bad. Same way I was saying the Aiden Ross Pornhub moment was bad. And I'd actually like to cannonball into the deep into this pool a little bit and swim around a little more and explore it, because I didn't think this would be necessary. I thought we were all able to deduce human emotion, but it seems like a lot of our arguments are going to pretend like everyone is an
Bro,
actual...
he's getting so upset. He's a little triggered right now. He's getting a little condescending. And listen, I do that too. Let's be honest, okay? I have this thing called goblin mode. I'm not proud of it. Working on myself. Hashtag emotional gains. Right? But he's a little triggered here. He's a little triggered. He's insulting the audience now. Guys, you know when I do that, things are getting fucking crazy.
Bots and can't think, so I'm just going to over-explain everything. She makes it seem like I never outright said anything or condemned the Fansly promotion during the Streamer Awards or called it weird or anything at all. I was just completely radio silent, keeping a secret like I had Fairly Odd Parents. I didn't want to tell anyone. When that's just not the case. During the Fansly promotional moment, I laughed at it. Now, let me ask you, what would I be laughing at, if not the absurdity of a Fansly promotion being on Twitch?
Bad argument. This is a bad argument, dude. He's getting fucking shredded, dude. You make laughing at it, it's not explicit enough to be like, oh, that's bad. You could be laughing at it for any number of reasons. I don't know. You could think it's silly that your friends are making porn or something. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. We don't have to think too much into it. You should have been more explicit about that. You should have been like, oh, that's not good. That's inappropriate. You just gave a silly little chuckle that you even admit was just a silly little chuckle. As if somebody tickled your balls or something, you said. What is he talking about, bro? You just, he's taking a hard L, dude. Real hard.
Scott Schaefer seemed to understand what the joke I was laughing at was, which was the wild nature of a Fansly ad being played.
And when the ad for Fansly actually came up during the Streamer Awards, you can see he actually lets out a little laugh, and it seems like he's at least somewhat uncomfortable that this type of content was being promoted during the Streamer Awards.
I guess. It's not really explicit enough to me. I think Scott is either a really nice guy, or he's just afraid of criticizing you too much because you're a large content creator. So, you know, hey, listen, again, this is so stupid it doesn't even matter. It's just like, hey, be a little bit more aligned with your moral code, I guess. You know, none of this is that big of a deal, but just take like the L on it, bro. Who gives a shit? It's I laugh all the time, bro. I'm laughing right now. Why do you think I'm laughing? You don't even know. I'm fucking crazy. That's why. You can never read my fucking thoughts.
For exclusive behind-the-scenes content and a free trial of some of our hottest creators. On top of that, sign in using your Twitch account.
Did I just get a little tickle from under the desk or something? There is nothing to laugh about there, except for the absurdity of the situation.
Okay.
I didn't think that needed explanation, so I didn't even bother in the last one. But it's something she seems to harp on that I never made any indication that I found it uncomfortable or weird. And to go a step further, in the following stream or the stream after, in one of the days following the Streamer Awards, somebody in chat had asked me if I thought it was weird that Fansly was advertised during it, and I point blank said yes. And this is actually faster than I called out Aiden Ross in the Pornhub moment. The clip that she plays, as well as the other people have played as well.
Right, but wouldn't that clip be after she made her video? No?
Is from a video I made called Aiden Ross Just Got Banned. Maybe you've heard of him over the last week or so because he also just freely streamed porn on Kick. The astute listeners will have heard something very crucial there. I had said, over the last week, you may have heard of this. It had been about a week since the Aiden Ross Pornhub Armageddon moment, and I'd only mentioned it for around 50 seconds of this 11-minute video, which was focused on something else entirely. I just mentioned it because I was talking about a lot of the goofy things he had done recently. So I was just talking about it briefly, and it had taken me a week to even mention it. So I was actually faster to call the QT Fansly promotion weird than I was to call the Aiden Ross Pornhub situation weird. I didn't just ignore it. That is just a blatant lie. However, I don't want to be guilty of the same sin Kitty's already committed of making a claim without any evidence to back it up, where she said at the beginning of this video...
I don't know, bro. She had a lot of evidence. So far, she's cooking, dude. She's cooking, just like women should. I'm just kidding. Men should too. You should be independent, guys.
I defended the promotion of porn to minors, which is a sickening thing to even say. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because I cannot provide the clip of where I replied to chat about the Fansly promotion being weird, because I don't fucking feel like combing through 14 hours worth of streams the day and the day after the streamer awards went live. I really don't feel like going through it. So since I'm not providing the video evidence for it, I'm not going to use this as a point in my defense.
Well, I mean, listen. I get it, right? Too much work. I don't like to work. But check this out. Check this out, guys. Let's say I made millions of dollars a year. This is crazy because you'll never find a comparable moment to this. Let's say I made $1 million, like millions of dollars a year, and my whole job was to just kind of sit and play video games and make 2 commentary videos a day that are about 10 minutes each. Nothing wrong with that, but that was my job. I would imagine I'd probably have a couple fans who were really and then let's say I had a controversy where somebody claimed I was being hypocritical. They said, "Papa Gut, you are acting very wet, hypocritical." And I said, "That's an interesting joke because my name's Papa Gut, so I don't get the meme." Right? I would imagine that I would have some fans who really liked me and were really into the drama. They're like, "Papa Gut, this is all I do all day. I have no other life except for you. I love you." And I said, "Of course you do. How could you not? I'll give you $1,000 to go comb through 14 hours of stuff and find this clip where I say this." Because again, I make millions of dollars a year. What is you probably pay him $100? You know, I probably pay him 50. He's a little nerd. In fact, I would pay 5 people. Think about that. Put that cap on your noodle. Put that cap on your noodle. Now, I'm not saying this is anywhere comparable to Moist Critical situation. I don't think that he's somebody who makes millions of dollars a year streaming and making content. I don't think he has really loyal fans that are probably a little too obsessed with the drama that he's in. I don't think that he has enough money to pay those people to comb through the video for him with specific instructions. But if he was, why don't you just do that, brother? Okay.
So going forward, we're going to work under the assumption that I never said anything publicly about it on stream, and the only indication I made to condemning it or that I thought it was bad was when I laughed at it during the moment.
Which is weeks after the call out.
That's what we are going to
not like personal comments, but like the audience comments, that the majority of the people didn't even watch the full statement. There must be a ghost in the machine of this lie counter on screen because it's going wacko mode. I don't know what's being counted as lies here because her points haven't changed, yet the counter is going up. I'm guessing it's because she's trying to say that the timeline condemns me. It had been about a week before I responded to her video, so my speed to the response was suboptimal. I didn't get there like the fucking Power Rangers in time to talk about it. The explanation there should be pretty obvious to any sentient human being out there. I didn't see it until a couple days before I talked about it on stream. I had meant to talk about it the next day, but I forgot. I don't remember why, and I apologize. Maybe I should have talked about it the very second that I finished watching it, but I forgot. And then the following day or whatever, when the MuKitties community kept spamming it, I did get a little upset because I just don't like spam, and I was already talking about other things. So yes, I did get a little upset about the spam, and I do apologize for that. It's just something that always grinds my fucking ass. I don't like spam, but I'm being completely genuine.
His argument that he was going to respond to it and he already watched it, but he didn't? Maybe. Okay.
You don't understand what the point she's making here is. That I was slow to respond to it, thus I'm guilty, I guess.
The point is that like that she was just generally making is that you didn't really respond to, you didn't make any of these criticisms of Fansly stuff until after she made her content. So
I don't really think that's a very strong point.
The next slide is also very important, and it's done
Very
many times.
important.
Where he words, I didn't do the exact same statement. When he didn't do any statement at all.
Thus, I disagree that it's hypocritical that I made statements about Aiden Ross and the porn thing being really weird, and I didn't make the exact same statements for QT Cinderella's Fansly sponsor. What? I don't actually really get what you're saying with this one. Is it an issue with the way I laid out the situation? In the clip you played, I'm just laying out the situation where people are upset that I made a statement about Aiden Ross and streaming Pornhub to be weird, and then didn't turn around and make the exact same statement for QT Cinderella and the Fansly promotion. Was the issue me saying exact same? The word exact? Was that the problem?
Bro, how is it a parasocial relationship? If you're a big fan of me and I made millions of dollars and I wanted you to look through 14 hours of content and I gave you like a fucking $500 or whatever, you would do, that's not even parasocial. I'm paying you, bro. Get out of here. Don't be a stinky little fucking goober.
I mean, I guess we can dive into that a bit. Maybe we need to start with a definition of hypocrisy, I suppose. So again, this whole video I made was just defending me from the hypocrisy allegations, not minimizing the actual subject matter, which I find to be a pretty important talking point. It was just defending myself from claims of hypocrisy. So I tackled it by pointing out that the Aiden Ross Pornhub situation and the QT Fansly situation were different, albeit both bad, and do have similar elements to them. So in this section where I said I didn't say the exact same thing, I'm highlighting that when people were criticizing me, they're talking about me not making like a whole video talking about the QT Fansly promotion, I believe. So that was my definition of exact same. And I'll clear up confusion. I didn't make a whole video about the Aiden Ross Pornhub thing either. That was 50 seconds of an 11-minute video that was unrelated to that. And I did mention that the QT thing was weird. So in order for the situation to have been hypocritical, I would have needed to shit all over
the
Aiden
lie
Ross
she was calling out that Charlie didn't understand was him saying later in the stream he called out the ad, but the clip he showed was from a different stream for what happened later. Oh, okay. So the lie that she was saying that Charlie didn't understand was him saying later that... Okay, so he said that in the stream he called it out later, but he actually showed a clip from a different stream. That's what she was calling out as a lie. Gotcha.
Call it the worst thing in the world. Get the pitchfork out.
See?
The Pornhub.
I don't even do my own work, dude. We got people in here doing it for me. It's incredible. What a life. I'm not even a super successful content creator. It's just August. She's always on. She's on point. What? Always on point, dude. Did I level up? Did I use learning points for that? I hope not.
Moment. And meanwhile, pat QT Cinderella on the back and defend it, applaud it, say that the Fansly promotion is totally fine. That would have been hypocritical. And I was arguing that since that wasn't the case, it wasn't. Like the word exact wasn't really a core part of anything I was discussing. Now, I would like to, however, throw her life raft on a point here because I do think there is valid criticism of me here. I've said this for a long time. No one is above criticism. Of course, that includes me as well. I do think that maybe I didn't come out hard enough against it, so maybe that led to a lot of confusion on how I felt about it. With Aiden Ross, I didn't make a whole video talking about the Pornhub thing he did. It was a very small piece of a bigger video. So I never made a video about that. But QT Cinderella situation, I only ever mentioned on stream, and I think only like one time. So even though I didn't make a whole video on the Aiden Ross Pornhub thing, it was pretty clear how I felt about it. Whereas QT Cinderella, if you weren't watching the stream, it's possible that you didn't understand where I stood. So
was the video about Aiden Ross though? Did he just like not get to it, so he made like one comprehensive video? Because I mean, that's splitting hairs, but okay.
I do think that is a valid criticism where I didn't make it clear enough where I was at with it, and I think that would have been a good point to make. However, it's not hypocritical because at no point have I ever defended it, and I wouldn't defend it either. So
well, it could still be hypocritical if you didn't make a big stink about it, but you made like when you made a big stink about other stuff, right? Like I said, like if you made a big stink about Twitch promoting booby streams, like hot tub streams, and you didn't make a point about this being inappropriate, then like you are engaging in some level of hypocrisy. I would say, you know, that's just my humble opinion.
Disagree entirely with any of it being even remotely hypocritical, but I do, however, agree that I should have made it clearer where I stood on the whole situation.
He keeps pushing on this narrative that we missed the clip that proves he's not a hypocrite. But the clip is after my video, the day before this video. So he uses the word prove, which in the viewer's mind means that he's proving something. But the clip
that is what
after
that would
my
trigger.
video.
Yeah.
Guys, do you understand?
I was saying, I'll prove that's there right now, real quick, before getting into live advertising, Fansly, OnlyFans, or anything in front of audience that has younger children on it.
I get it.
Imagine how many people fell for this. Look at Asmongold's reaction.
I don't understand. What? I'm being left more confused than the first time I watched Inception when I was but a young whippersnapper.
This one's pretty clear. She's just saying that you didn't respond to it and say it was bad until after you got called out, and then you pretend you pretended, and she showed the proof and whatnot. You know, Bird proves on you at this point, and then the only time you spoke out against it was after the fact that she made her video, and again. She showed you not have any real reaction during it, so.
What is the point you're making here? All I was saying is a lot of the comments were calling me out for never even saying that it was bad, which is just wrong, and why I said you must have missed the clip, so I just proved that it is in that clip that is already on your fucking channel. That is what I was saying, is that I did say that QT Cinderella and OnlyFans or Fansly promotion is not a good decision. That is me calling it bad. So I was just saying that you might have missed it, and I was just proving that it is there in the content you posted. I did say it. That's the only thing I was saying. This has nothing to do with the timeline. This was talking about the people that were saying I never even said it was bad, when I did.
From the false lens. He then lies about Fansly having a lot of obstacles.
So I view the advertisement very differently than a lot of people, because even when you scan the QR code, you still don't immediately get porn. There's already a lot of degrees of separation, a lot of obstacles to go through.
What happens? This is crazy that this website is being promoted in front of hundreds of thousands of children because as soon as I go to the homepage, I am instantly greeted with an open vagina despite the account being underage.
This is the most disgustingly manipulative part of her entire video here, because if she goes forward in this clip, I then go on to say that I didn't have the knowledge that Fansly wasn't secure and that it didn't actually have any safeguards in place to prevent under 18-year-olds from accessing the content on its site.
She did show that now, though, didn't she? I could have swore she showed that.
I was under the assumption that there was ID verification and a lot of obstacles in order to go through.
I could swear she showed that in her video. Am I wrong? She absolutely did say that, no?
In order to set up your account. In that video that she is playing, I said that these things turned out to be false, and I was wrong. That it is actually easy for anyone to have an account there that is underage and access the content. But I didn't know that prior. Now, the whole point I was making with this statement, this section here, is that there is still a degree of separation between Aiden Ross just bringing up full-blown porn, we're talking fully penetrative fucking goat seed porn on stream, versus the Fansly advertisement, which had no nudity at all. The point I was making is they were different in that they weren't just the exact same thing done by two different people. Granted, they are both sexual content for sure. The Fansly advertisement was not full-blown porn right in your face right off the rip. Thus, I was arguing it is different. Now, it's very clear to me UP has never even bothered to do the bare minimum of scanning that QR code during the Fansly advertisement. She's using a different video to try and make her point for her without doing even just a little bit of work. If you scan that QR code, I'll show you exactly what happens. This is the first thing that pops up. This is like the peanut butter and jelly of safeguards, the most inefficient shit ever. Are you 18? Yes or no, basically.
Yeah, but then the criticism, the counter criticism to that is like, hey, listen, apparently, is that like you can see some dirty stuff without, like, you link your Twitch account that has your age on it there. And apparently even people who registered, I think even Scott Schaefer or whatever said this, even if you register yourself as under 18, they'll still allow you to look at some inappropriate shit. That was in the Scott video, no? I'm pretty sure it was. I remember watching that. Correct me if I'm wrong, though.
But this is already something that contradicts a lot of what people were saying, where there was no 18+ at all. If you scan the QR code, you'll immediately get fucking porn. That is not true. That's not a point you was making, but I do want to address that. It's not like you scan that and immediately got porn. You did have the same safeguard that apparently Kick has, that a lot of people said is why the Aiden Ross situation is actually not as bad as this, because at least there was an 18+ warning. Well, there is an 18+ warning here too, so they're very similar in that regard. Now, once you enter, you're still not getting porn. You then go to this like Twitter thing. It's like some kind of Fansly Twitter thing, where if you scroll down, you still don't get porn. You get their little red carpet interview moments. Then, if you go to the very first link there, then you go to the actual Fansly site, and once again, you still don't get nudity. Now, the pictures are more sexual, but still the nudity is blurred out. In order to actually access the porn, you have to claim the subscription and then make an account or sign in with Twitch. There's a lot more you have to go to get the porn out of the Fansly advertisement.
What's this one, though? Is this not like porn? It looks like some of them are blocked, but this one is not blocked, right? Okay, whatever.
In order to actually access the porn, you have to claim the subscription and then make an account or sign in with Twitch. There's a lot more you have to go to get the porn out of the Fansly advertisement versus the Aiden Ross just pulling up the porn as a jump scare in front of the entire fucking audience out of nowhere. That's the point I was making. These are two very different situations, but did have commonality that makes them both bad. But I still believe the Aiden Ross one is worse. You don't immediately get the porn from the Fansly advertisement, and it's not exactly 2 clicks away, but it is still extremely easy to access and has no real age verification in place to ensure that your account is 18+. If you sign in with Twitch, it just kind of fucking takes them at their word, like, ah, Scout's Honor, you're 18+, I believe you, and then gives you the porn, which is a problem. That is an issue, and that was not knowledge I had prior to the whole situation here. I was under the impression that no kids could really access it due to like actual safeguards that would ensure only 18+ were using it, like an ID check or something. But that is not the case, which is why I've admitted I was wrong about it. But they are still two very different situations where you don't immediately get porn on the Fansly advertisement versus literally getting shown porn with the Aiden Ross moments. But that does not excuse the QT Fansly promotion. It's still bad. We are on the same side. I don't know why she can't see this.
He lies about not saying a statement immediately, which indicates to the viewer that he did say one when he never did. God, when he just said that anyone can access and you only need your Twitch account.
It's completely different than advertisement to a platform which does have porn, but a lot of things that they have to do in order to access it.
Then ends the video with saying neither is great.
Classic New Kitty. She leaves out the part in that video where I admit I was wrong about not knowing how easy it was to access, because it helps her point if she leaves that shit out.
I could have swore she had that in her video. Am I wrong about that? I must be, I guess. But okay.
I said it in the video. I've just addressed it again here. There are more things you have to go through in order to access porn from the Fansly advertisement, as opposed to Aiden Ross just putting the porn right in your fucking face and shaking it around. But neither are good. I also was under the assumption that Fansly was only accessible to 18+ after you verified your age. I don't use the platform. I thought you had to verify you were 18+ in order to even get to the pornographic content. Thus, I thought it was even harder for children to have gotten porn out of that advertisement if they weren't of age. Not only would they have had to leave the platform to get it, they would then have to verify their age and make an account for it. I thought there was a lot of steps to it, making it very difficult for them. But according to some research now, it actually seems like Fansly is extremely easily accessible for anyone of any age. There's not a whole lot of security to it based on the things I read, which is knowledge I didn't have last night. Super weird that she just happened to have left out that part where I openly admit that I was wrong about the ease of access to the porn, where I admit that I completely was on the wrong assumption as to how difficult it was to access all of it. I'm sure she didn't mean to exclude it on purpose. It probably wasn't malicious. She might have just overlooked it.
But he only called out one, which is the point. But he still doesn't think he's a hypocrite. This is the best example of a hypocrite in denial. Both are bad, or in other words, neither is great. If
that's
the
a
only one he called
river
out
in
was a stranger,
Egypt.
and the one he didn't was his business partner. Guys, how is this hard to understand?
I'm getting more and more tempted just to comb through the goddamn streams for 14 fucking hours to find the part where I do say that the QT Fansly promotion was weird after replying to
Well, just pay somebody to do it. You could have done that. You just intentionally chose not to, though everything's at your fingertips.
But I'm not going to tell you about it. We're going again to continue to push forward without that. Even still, me laughing at it, I do think it's pretty obvious, but we're going to throw that to the side as well. Even still, we'll throw both those aside. I am saying it's bad. I have now talked more about how bad QT's family promotion is than the Aiden Ross porn situation, New Kitty. Like, I don't know how much clearer to make it. There isn't some deeper...
Well, yeah, but
I thought I made it clear.
But again, like, you're prompted to do it. That's what her argument is, right? So.
I was wrong. I didn't make it clear enough where I stood on it. That's fine. That's a legitimate criticism you can have of me. But it's not hypocritical because I've never defended it. I've never applauded it, and I've never tried to bury it or anything or hide my feelings on it. I thought it was clear and I was wrong. But I am saying, and I've said a million times now, it's not good. It's not. Like, you are making an issue out of nothing. We are on the same team, and you are dragging this on, and it is getting absolutely fucking shameless now.
He says I don't like his content. Big lie. I've never said this.
Something that
I'm genuinely upset with him when I've never expressed anything against him.
I also did say I'm not the biggest fan of the way she edits her content.
Well, yeah, no, like you did just like weirdly say that she just doesn't like you, even though she was just like you were just part of the original video, and then you've responded, and that's why it's going on. So.
Boy, howdy, this is a bunch of hullabaloo nonsense points now. I'll go ahead and openly admit maybe I'm wrong on that first point there where I said she doesn't like my content. Maybe you're a huge fan of the content. I guess I could be wrong. I was making an educated guess based on the way that you talk about me on Twitter and in the comment section. But I guess I could be wrong. Maybe you absolutely love my shit. Maybe you're a huge fan of the Moist Wrestling League. I don't know. I guess you're right. I didn't know for sure. I was just reading between the lines of everything you've been saying about me and posting about me. The next point is about...
maybe you were just trying to make it seem like she was just like hysterical and just like hated you and that she was being a silly goose. It's also possible.
Her being upset? I assumed she was passionate about the topic, but maybe that was the wrong thing to assume. Maybe she's only ever treated this like fake outrage. I gave her the benefit of the doubt that she actually cared about the subject, so I assumed she would.
That's not like. See, you're being dishonest again, like, or not, maybe not again, but like, her criticizing something doesn't mean that she's like super upset with you and hates you. It could just mean that like she's, hey, this is something that I find like problematic. This is a problem. You're placing this. You're trying to suggest that she's like fucking obsessed with you almost in some capacity. So these are still expensive. I'll buy it anyway. I don't give a fuck.
Be upset if she genuinely thought I was defending it. So I guess I was wrong about that. Maybe she doesn't care about any of this, and this is all just a big game control for her. So yeah, I guess I could have been wrong there too, for sure. I'll admit that could have been the wrong assumption to make. And then line number 11 had me really scratching my head here, and then calling it an ego thing. It was part of an apology to you, because I said on stream that I really didn't like the way you edited the content. I called it Zoomer editing, and I said that sounded mean-spirited when I didn't mean it to. I just meant that it's not my personal cup of tea. I've never been one to really like huge amount of sound effects and a lot of crazy effects and sounds and music going on. And I said I didn't really like it, and it came across mean-spirited, so I apologized. I wanted to make sure that you didn't feel like I was insulting you personally, like I fucking hated you, just because I didn't like the editing. I don't know what the lie is here. I was being honest. I still don't like the editing. That's just me being honest. That's not a lie. I don't really know what this part here is. I just can't even say it's a real debate. I know you kitty's really upset.
He's not lying about me saying Aiden Ross did the exact same thing when I've never said that.
I'd like her to put her money where her mouth is. If she really thinks that the Aiden Ross Pornhub situation is exactly the same as the QT Cinderella one that I want her in her next video. Again, I could be fully wrong here about her being upset. She had made 3 tweets about me within like 2 hours right before I went live. So it sounded like she was passionately upset about this whole situation. And like I said, if she was actually caring about the subject, I feel she had every right to if she really believed that I was defending it and okay with it. So again, I could have been wrong. Now, I like how she cuts off what I was about to say there because I still think this is something very important. Her video has me in it, side by side with my Aiden Ross statement where I said it was weird that he pulled up porn to his viewers that had kids watching versus me laughing at QT pulling up the porn advertisement to viewers that had kids watching. So what everyone in inferred, including myself, is that she was saying these situations are the same, and Moist Critical is a hypocrite because he called the Aiden Ross thing weird, but didn't say it was weird when QT did it. That is the assumption I and everybody else who saw that video made. Pretty much everyone who watched your video interpreted that moment as you saying that Charlie said Aiden Ross Pornhub moment was weird, but didn't have that same energy or say the QT Fansly promotion was weird. Thus, he is a hypocrite. So my point was, if this is what you were saying, and it seemed to me and most people that it was what you were saying, that these are the same thing, and thus Charlie's a hypocrite, then I said, put your money where your mouth is, and in your next video, play the Aiden Ross uncensored, unedited Pornhub moment, and then play the QT Cinderella Fansly promotion unedited, uncensored, and we'll see how closely related they are. See if they really are the exact same situation. And I was saying, I don't think you do that, and for good reason, because the Aiden Ross Pornhub moment is going to get you banned because it's fucking porn, whereas the QT Fansly promotion has nothing sexually super explicit, no nudity. I played that entire advertisement in my last video, and it was totally fine. That one is a safe to watch thing that links to things that are not safe for minors to watch, which is bad. That is not good, but it is not exactly the same situation as Aiden Ross bringing up Pornhub, and that's what I thought, and most people thought you were saying with your video with me at the end. So I challenged you to prove that you felt that way by playing both of these uncensored and unedited side by side to prove if you really felt they were exactly the same. You have now kind of backpedaled on that, or maybe we were all wrong and that's not exactly what you're saying. I guess that's totally possible as well. But I think we can all recognize that what Aiden Ross did is not the exact same thing QT Cinderella did with the Fansly promotion, but it does not excuse the Fansly promotion. I hate that I have to keep hammering that home now, but I'm going to keep saying it because it apparently needs to be made abundantly clear.
Then he lies about saying both are bad and called one much weirder, which indicates that he called Cuties weird when he never did.
I don't know how many times I could say they're both bad, but one's definitely worse, which is why I called it much weirder.
And that is why everybody's calling him out.
But one is definitely worse, which is why I called it much weirder and much quicker. Once again, this is referring to the situation after all of this had happened, where I had now said 1,000 fucking times that the QT Fansly promotion is weird too, but the Aiden Ross Pornhub one is much weirder. Right? That's what I'm saying. This is all post-game now. After all of this has blown over, this is that stream right after all this, I said that it is weird, and that the Aiden Ross one is still much weirder. I don't know what's getting lost here.
And one of the most biggest lies is that he said that it was not good and he was uncomfortable when he saw the ad on Streamer Awards. This never happened.
As opposed to laughing and saying that, yeah, that was uncomfortable and not good.
Let me prove it for the lazy ones.
I have to imagine she's doing this on purpose. It is just going in circles. Laughing at it, I still think, is pretty clear. I am laughing at the absurdity of it, and that it is weird, silly, uncomfortable, and all the things I've said about it since. That's what I'm saying with calling it uncomfortable. All the things I've said about it since. Like, I don't know where things are going so awry here.
He then keeps on lying that there's an 18 verification when he just admitted in his video that he posted that there isn't.
He's saying there's no 18 plus tag on the Fansly ad where you have to verify being 18. Yeah, but on the actual porn website you have to verify being 18. But we're going to talk about verification, and you would still need to verify you're 18 to see the porn with Fansly. I thought you had to verify you were 18 plus in order to even get to the pornographic content, but according to some research now, it actually seems like Fansly is extremely easily accessible for anyone of any age. There's not a whole lot of security to it based on the things I read, which is knowledge I didn't have last night.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
Video that he posted that there isn't.
He's saying there's no 18 plus tag on the Fansly ad where you have to verify being 18. Yeah, but on the actual porn website you have to verify being 18. So we're going to talk about verification, and you would still need to verify you're 18 to see the porn with Fansly. I thought you had to verify you were 18 plus in order to even get to the pornographic content, but according to some research now, it actually seems like Fansly is extremely easily accessible for anyone of any age. There's not a
Wait, hold on. I was right though, right? He claimed earlier, and maybe I'm just like fucking residually drunk or something, but he keeps saying that like she cut off the context of him explaining that it was not as secure as it really is, and now he's playing her videos where she's showing him saying how he didn't realize how unsecure it was. Isn't he lying? I might be just fucking like loopy as shit right now because I'm a little, I wouldn't say I'm hungover, but you know how it is. I got drunk a couple hours ago, so I'm a little bit out of it. Am I wrong? I should have swore that he went on about how she didn't show the full context, about how he actually made it clear that he didn't realize how non-secure it was. Blah 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 blah. And now this is him showing him make that thing. You're right. He's lying. I'm right. If you say it, August, I fucking believe you. What the fuck's happening? He lies in his own video. This is just so stupid. Why? What are you doing? I can't believe he edited this and then it was like, yeah, this makes sense. What the fuck is this, dude? Holy shit.
Based on the things I read.
All right, whatever, man. You do you, brother.
To verify you're 18 to see the porn with Fansly. Hey, there we go. Kitty finally came around to playing the rest of that clip where I admit that I got a lot of the information wrong about how easily accessible Fansly is.
Yeah, but that was in the same video that you... Wait, what the fuck? Okay, what is his argument? I'm a little confused. That he... Oh, maybe his argument she didn't show it at the right moment, I guess? You made it seem like she never showed it, but she did in that video. Something's just like adding up weirdly.
Contradicts a couple of the lies she pointed out earlier.
Whatever, okay.
Now, maybe I shouldn't use the word verify here, but I did just pull up on screen what happens when you scan the code. You have to confirm that you are 18 by hitting enter, which is the same thing Kick had. The whole context of that situation was people saying Kick had the 18 plus verification just to watch the stream. And I was saying, well, by that metric, Fansly had the same safeguard, where you still had to hit 18 to enter. I shouldn't have used the word verification, I should have used safeguard because it's not verification. That was an absolutely wrong word to use there, and I fully own up to that. That was not the correct word to use, but it was on the fly and we were heated, so I used the wrong word and fumbled it. It was a safeguard. Kick didn't have an 18 verification either. It was, are you 18 to start watching? Yes. Which is the exact same thing that Fansly had. Are you 18 to go to this next page? Yes. That's what I'm saying. That's the whole context there.
He then keeps on brainwashing the narrative that he didn't do it immediately when he never did anything. It's a lie, guys.
And the one I did talk about immediately after it happened.
And now he lies again and said that it was kind of weird when I just proved that he did it.
After it happened, I laughed and then said later, wow, that was kind of weird. I don't know how many times she's going to make the exact same statement and chalk it up to a new lie. This is getting ridiculous now. For the 50th fucking time, she keeps saying that I didn't make a statement. I have now made 2 full videos about this whole situation, saying the same thing, that it's inexcusable, bad, not good, suboptimal, not great, awful, uncomfortable, yucky, stinky. That's what I'm talking about. I've said that a ton of times now. The initial laugh I thought was clear from the get-go what I was laughing at, but I guess not. I forgot we're in the age of Twitter where you have to end everything with like a slash sarcasm or something to give like your tone indicator so everyone fully fucking understands what's going on in a situation. But regardless, I recognize I may not have made it clear enough, which is where confusion could arise. But I don't know why she's still pretending like I've somehow defended this. I have never defended it ever. And I've now talked about this so much more than I've talked about the Aiden Ross situation, which I still believe it was worse, no matter how you try and spin it. Like, this is getting absolutely absurd.
He then lies about me harping on him and bringing him up. I think this is to make his fans defend him, but I never harped on him.
That's the whole point why she keep bringing me up and harping on me, because I laughed at it. Oh my god, another completely useless empty calorie here. Harping, maybe the wrong word. You posted about me, I think 8, 9 times now on Twitter, and you made like 6 or 7 YouTube comments. So yeah, it felt like you were really...
Wasn't that after you responded already, though? And by her logic, misinterpreting her video, so wouldn't it be prompted? Let's get this one, actually.
Now that I've shown how much he lies, I'm gonna touch on why he's a hypocrite. Same thing happened when he tried to scam the fans with overpriced computers. He only changed when they exposed him. Then suddenly criticism exists. Incident, the owner of Starforge, which he is a co-owner of, he never mentioned his name in the video. Is that a coincidence? Well, when Rich Campbell got kicked out of OTK, he didn't make a video on that either. So I see a pattern, and I called it out.
Yes, of course, no Mew Kitty video is complete without piling a ton of dog shit lies right at the end. So there's a lot here, and I'll unpack them all real quick. So immediately she pulls the glove.
I just have to say, because I don't know if she's or isn't lying, but like so far, seems to be more honest than Mr. Critical here.
Comes off and starts spitting and shitting. She calls Starforge PCs a scam, or insinuates that it was scamming its customers, which is fucking wild because pretty much no one thinks that way. Linus Tech Tips fucking reviewed it and had an overwhelmingly positive review for the most part. He had legitimate criticism that we took to heart, appreciated, and used to better the company and the product, but no one really has anything negative to say about it because Starforge PCs is a legitimate passion project that aims to actually provide the best value, the best computers you can possibly find on the market. This is starting to sound like a fucking ad, but it is the truth. She's referring to our rocky launch, and we all admit the launch of Starforge wasn't swimming. It didn't go super smooth, and that's just a sad reality of it, and it's something that we deeply regret, but we used it to improve it and fix it, and now it is just the best that there is on the market. But she then tries to draw a parallel between Starforge and OTK, more specifically MizGif. MizGif last year fell into some hot water with a whole sexual assault cover-up scandal, and she pulls out a video saying that it's curious that I didn't mention MizGif in it. Must be because he's one of the co-owners of Starforge PC. Well, that's fucking weird, because she pulled a video where I just wasn't talking about the situation in general. The video where I did talk about it was a totally unrelated one. So I'll go ahead and play the clip where I do mention it and say that I'm giving proper respect to the victim due to the severity of the case. Because normally with internet drama, I'm just covering the wacky and goofy shit, and sexual assault is nothing wacky and goofy. That's fucking horrifying. Here's the clip. So let's go ahead and start with Twitch's argument that video bringing down lots of change and lots of since then. So I briefly mentioned it's very serious. Happened on Twitch involving sexual assault. It's covered up with all kinds of stories. That's nothing I treat as goofy drama. So again, I'm not going to go into super detail on that whole situation. I will say that that story has had a lot of twists and turns to it, where now all of a sudden focusing on the victim of sexual assault or like the perpetrator abuse of it. It's actually entirely the big strangers pointing fingers at each other and calling each other names and throwing me debate term buzzwords at each other that possibly monster. And it is just kind of a mess. I again don't really treat it super lightly, so I'm not going to talk too much detail about it. I recommend listening to Adrian Lee, victim of the case, and get it from her. So weird. There's very clear evidence that I have mentioned it, and if you want even more, I do have a video on my second channel where I go into it more in depth after the OTK investigation came out, where I said I wasn't super satisfied and would have liked to see the actual evidence due to the severity of the case. I would have liked everything to be transparent so I could really see what happened here because of how outspoken I had been about this whole situation with MizGif and everyone involved. But she couldn't be bothered to do any amount of research, even the fucking bare minimum where if you just type in my name plus MizGif, that video pops up right away. And I talked about it on stream at length too, for hours. Like, it is something I very deeply did and do care about. She then makes another fucking lie saying that I never talked about Rich Campbell or made a video about him. Well, once again, that was another horrifying situation that is not wacky, goofy internet drama that I usually will cover. So that was one I didn't make a video on. She's correct. But I did have a whole stream dedicated to talking about the fucking situation, which she could easily find if she just typed in my name plus Rich Campbell. Here's just a small excerpt from it. She's blatantly fucking lying in a video where she's calling out my supposed lies. And just when you thought it couldn't get more embarrassing, she's got one more final point to make.
Responded to this.
Well, if it's in a stream of yours, you can't expect her to like take a deep look into it. I wouldn't really criticize her on that one too much. You could argue though that, sorry guys, like I had said when it first came up, is like I think it was more like a lot of people stayed out of it, didn't want to talk about it, and I can completely understand that. We've become a bit like sexual assault obsessed, and people do talk about it a lot, and I understand why people were like, oh, let's just see what happens and where it goes, you know. But you didn't seem to make a video on it, and somebody reviewing a stream of yours is a lot, you know. You like it's unreasonable to think that she would be educated on that. So.
Promotion of porn to an audience full of minors. His response was, yeah, it's not a great decision. It's just one of those things.
Of course, advertising Fansly, OnlyFans, or anything in front of an audience that has younger children on it, it's always going to be not a great decision. It's one of those things, yeah.
One of those things? Like it's a daily thing we all do?
Yeah,
True,
it's one of those things. One of those bad things. I don't know how you even interpret that statement as just another one of those days in the calendar. It's one of those bad things, those bad decisions. It's also plain and clear. I know she's doing this on purpose to get a rise out of me, and it's absolutely worked. It gets under my
this one, yeah, like she's being a little sensational here. I even mentioned, well, I didn't go too hard in on it when I heard it, but like, yeah, you could definitely argue she's being a little sensationalized on this one. She's being a little bit of a silly goose. So it's like one of those things. Like I even said, I was like, listen, you shouldn't be advertising this stuff to kids, but like kids are fucking, you know, they're looking at this kind of shit. You know what I mean?
So, because there are actually people that think she's being serious, and it makes me fucking upset. And it is entirely her fault for that because she continues to play into this character that just says the most incendiary, off-the-wall nonsense shit and makes the worst points.
I don't think it's a character. I think she's being serious, though. I don't know why you keep saying it's a character. I don't know what the motive is there.
Whatever she's trying to talk about.
Going into a red zone,
guys.
Was
very charitable, thinking that she was coming from a place of genuine care. That is obviously not the reality of the situation. So this is my full response.
Well, the first time you said that she was just trolling, and now you're saying that you thought that she wasn't just what? Didn't he originally frame it as he thought she was just like making a joke and trolling, and now he's framing it like at the beginning of the video, and now he's framing it like she's just trolling, but like she wasn't originally, or she came from a place of good. It's been pretty clear from the start that she was making like a legitimate criticism with like cringe editing, right?
response to everything she said here, and hopefully this will be the end of it, because again, if she really does care about it, then we're on the same team, because I think it was a problem too. I don't think it was a good thing that Fancy got promoted at the Streamer Award. I've said it a lot. I've said it now again.
But after listening to all this, I just don't even think it's that big of a deal anymore. This whole thing is just fucking like silly goosery, you know?
Fucking time. So this is once again me just defending myself from hypocrisy allegations, but there are real things you could criticize me for, like not making it clear enough in the beginning. That is something I do regret. I should have been a lot clearer with how I felt about it, and I feel like I missed the mark there. But hopefully all this is cleared up exactly where I stand on all of it. I'm tired of her pretending that because Ludwig's my friend, I've defended QT. I haven't. I've done the opposite. I have said I don't support it. So I don't know why she keeps running with that narrative and trying to push that agenda that is just not the truth, which is very ironic considering her whole video is about how I wasn't being truthful. So it's wild. This whole situation is just stupid. Really fucking stupid. That's about it. See ya.
Cool. It is. That's true. I agree with that part. And here we go. We got more. We got the last one in the mix. How hypocritical, excuse me, proved my point. This is the last one in the series. Thank God August is here, because I almost I almost didn't do this in the right order. Let's go.
Imagine waking up to find out that the biggest streamers
what a fucking drag waking up, honestly, dude. What the hell?
YouTubers are all talking about you. Your entire channel has been demonetized and millions of people are calling you a clout chaser.
Really? All of her entire channel? Why was her channel demonetized?
Recently, I decided to make a video calling out the hypocrisy of some of the biggest creators on this platform, because I realized that smaller streamers wouldn't call out the biggest streamers because they are scared of the consequences if they do. So, how did I end up here? Me as a viewer and even Hypocritical's chat were all disgusted, but what stood up to me when it happened wasn't just the ad, but that after it happened, no smaller creators or streamer called it out. It was almost like it never happened. So I thought, who will hold them accountable if nobody holds them accountable for their wrongdoings?
All right.
Because the biggest
Well, here's the thing. Well, first of all, people criticize Hassan all the time, but this is a red zone, guys. In Albion Online, I've never been in here before. Basically, if somebody kills me, they'll take all my stuff, which is why you saw me buy a bunch of like duplicate gear that's much cheaper. I'm going in here to do some dungeons. Never done this before. I'm scared. I'm fucking terrified. I'm crying. Okay, now you don't have to do PvP in here. You have to flag yourself if you want to start attacking people, which I'm not going to do. But it's scary. All right, it's just scary.
Wouldn't, since they were all on it together. And that's where I came in.
Looking for a
I
dungeon.
made a video and held them accountable. And their response actually...
What I find so funny, though, I will say, is that like she's playing it up like this is like a big deal. It really doesn't matter, though. Somebody has to hold them responsible. For like, who cares? This whole thing is like a little like when you like you're fulfilling this at this point with a little too much self-importance. Somebody has to do it. You know, maybe the reason why nobody criticizes them is because they're big content creators and they want to get in on the jam. Or maybe they just don't give a fuck because it doesn't really matter that much. You know what I mean? That's part of it, too. Best looking lowercase letter? Wow, that's a good question. I'll give you an answer a little later.
And they were digging themselves into an even deeper hole. They all started defending each other, even though they did agree with my point in the video, which their own viewers noticed. So after I released this video, it got so much agreement and support that I started getting accusations of using
Trainwrecks TV cares. Why?
bots in my comments. But after Hypocritical's video on me, all these comments got flooded away by his troll viewers.
Bro, where the fuck
so
are the
it looks
dungeons,
like
dude?
no one understood my video, because they together painted me as a troll with no real arguments. But at the same time, all the streamers agreed to the point of my video, including the creator of the show, Cutie. So, to the hypocritical viewer that came from his video saying my video makes no sense, let's hear the opinion of every streamer to my point.
I haven't heard one bad point till now in the video, and it's 6 minutes and 40 seconds in. A pretty good video, I have to say. It isn't often we hear them. What?
Who the fuck is this guy?
That isn't even allowed to have on Twitch. I didn't know the ad was that, saying creating adult content. Wait,
That's an
listen.
OnlyFans ad.
What? I didn't know. I didn't.
To his audience, and keep in mind, a lot of his audience is for him to fall back on.
She actually has a good point there, using their own words as
Where
well.
am
It's a
I?
smart thing. Rare Moistel. Yeah, it's hypocrisy. But she brings up some good points there, I have to say.
After a Mario Kart ad for kids, not a single word is spoken.
I think that she's right about this. I think that both of them are advertising pornography and explicit content for kids. I think that she is right. I think that there is a spectrum, and showing the porn directly is
Where the
worse.
fuck am I?
But you cannot tell me that
Oh, is this just
advertising
a
Fansly
pass-through?
and then giving examples of streamers that produce explicit content on Fansly that are up on the screen. How are you not going to? How are you not going to say that's not promoting it? I couldn't imagine if you went to Toys R Us and you put up Fansly ads. Could
Bro, I wish there was a Toys R Us.
they sue you? I couldn't see why not.
I guess, but I think Toys R Us is literally for kids. Twitch, not necessarily. The demographic might be younger, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's for kids. Same thing with like Kick and all that other stuff.
I feel like that's advertising porn to kids. How's it not?
It might be, but there's a difference between doing it at a Toys R Us versus not.
A direct call to action to subscribe to porn on a stream.
All right, guys,
It's a
here we
direct
go.
Call to
Is this a
action.
red zone?
Direct.
By being 18.
That absolutely
is.
sucks. Not having
Don't
18
kill me.
plus
Stop it,
and
please.
having the QR code go straight up all this shit.
I'm so
Bro,
fucking-
I didn't
I'm
have to
so
chat
nervous,
with
dude.
him. I came with this intent on my own because of the Gamba.
So if we're gonna talk about verification, then you would still
Just
warn.
fucked up.
All right, this is where I want to go. I want to
Yeah,
this dungeon.
It's simple. You can put in the title, you can put in the panel.
Now, somebody
you can
can
put it on
follow
screen,
me.
You can put it
They
on
have
the
15
channel,
seconds
you can put
to
it
do it.
anywhere. Even having one of them
I'm gonna
gives you
wait.
enough flexibility to say, yo guys, I was like trying to put a safeguard. And you know what? Not everybody's going to agree with you, right? But objectively, you can make an argument that you tried. That's how it would play out. Legally and also kind of morally, right? But if you do absolutely nothing, then you have no plausible deniability across the board. And there's nothing you can say about it. That's just how it is.
I think they have 15 seconds.
I genuinely don't agree with
All right, they shouldn't be able to come in now.
They're minors,
Right?
they're actual children.
All right, we're good. What the fuck is happening right now?
I wouldn't even put it all on Cutie, right? Because I think Cutie, like, in my opinion, I think Cutie did a good job with it. Although, obviously, there were hypocrisies with the sponsors. I would almost put that on the entire group. I wouldn't put that on Cutie solely. I know this video is not going to be watched by these kids. I really hope.
Why is
people
the
start
audio so bad? Is it me? Is the audio is it my fault? Who's doing the audio?
on and start realizing, wait a second. Maybe people can call certain things out, but not.
I knew this kid was
Video
gonna
like this
fucking
won't get that
attack me.
much
You
traction
fucking pussy.
because
I waited 15
exactly
seconds.
what
Get me
you
out of here.
pointed out. This
Bye, pussy.
hierarchy of people.
Oh, my
narratives, but break every rule themselves because it's justified, right? No gambling, but I'll take sponsors from casinos or poker rooms. No
That's
gambling.
such a
unless it's
loser.
trained.
I
That's up
waited
to their name or
15
that's
seconds. The
135K,
dungeon should have
right?
closed
No
itself
CS:GO
out.
cases, but when CS2 comes out, every streamer that actually caters to
You're
children
kidding me.
and actually has a brand-friendly fucking stream, all CS:GO cases are okay.
This is the first time that I've ever done a red zone. It was the first dungeon I've ever done. And immediately, I'm killed by some fucking dickhead. Even after the dungeon's supposed to close after 15 seconds.
Problem is consistency will just get them hated and it won't get them what they want. I mean, the OnlyFans thing, that's also a good, like,
Fuck
show.
it, I got
Could have probably used
cocked.
the Blackjack ad, too, with Burger King and Mountain Dew.
Alright,
Right?
well, that's life, I guess. Huh?
If you lose it all, double down to win it all back. Like, what the fuck?
Why
Your
is
song the other day said,
audio
it's
so
enough
shit?
to say don't gamble? Well, if that's not enough, then your friend saying to double down to win it all back certainly can't be enough either, right? This hypocrisy 100% exists, and I'm very happy that she was able to catch it, and I hope other viewers were able to catch it as well. It's getting fucking disgusting and blatant. And they've banded together anyone who doesn't
Alright, it's not like that disgusting. Relax, Trainwrecks. Right.
fucking fit into that group or agree to
Also, you could probably, yeah, well, I mean, I would say that, like, literally spending, I think one of the big, this is something that I didn't think of until now. That's 5 of my beef stews are gone, bro. This is so stupid. I think one of the issues people have as well with this whole situation is that I think that there's definitely a difference between there's definitely a difference of plugging a Fansly on your page versus getting paid millions of dollars to gamble, so that your losses like don't matter if you lose. You know what I mean? So, but okay.
to that group is going to be cast
Yeah,
out.
just
These
get good,
inconsistent
true.
bullshit fucking things they preach every fucking day, depending on who's doing what.
True, brother.
That is a wild ad, straight up. Not only is that wild, but like, I thought Twitch didn't allow that kind of fucking promo. What the fuck? Twitch literally won't let hot tub streamers post their OnlyFans, but like, I guess when it's a big ticket sponsor, they don't give a shit, right? I think this is definitely.
I thought they were allowed to. I'm fucking exposed, dude. I've seen. I looked at Amaranth's before. I don't know if it's linked directly, but it's like on her Instagram or something like that. So.
Not a good ad. Okay. You know, a little ridiculous that you're doing like a direct, like, go over there. Your favorite streamers are on there. But at least like setting up one layer of like inconvenience is probably the right thing to do because it is still a platform that makes pornographic material.
Everybody agreed. Nobody defended the ad in any way. Everybody understood my point, except Hypocritical. Let's see how he reacted to this.
Why do I keep getting this question? Why are you okay with QT taking adult content money on Twitch, but not anyone outside your group? I didn't realize that was my group. You realize I've never talked to QT, like, in my life outside of DMs?
Okay.
What are you talking about? Are you talking
This
about the
video here
movie-
seems a little bit gratuitous from her. She's not really making any points. What am I doing? What is happening here? What the fuck is happening?
video? Because I thought that was all just like purposely trolling because of like the zoomer edits and like the copyrighted music and shit. I didn't know that was like legitimate arguments people were making. Because that's all
Is it copyrighted music? Am I gonna fuck?
real bad faith shit. So for example, I was called out because I pointed out Aiden Ross streamed porn to his audience on Kick. He went to Pornhub and just showed porn. I was like, that's weird. And then it was hypocrisy because I laughed when Fansly was shown at the Streamer Awards. How is that comparable? The clips shown in Fansly are more clothed than what you see on Twitch right now in the hot tubs category. You would have to sign on to the site in order to access the porn. It's not even comparable. On Pornhub, it was immediate dick, balls, pussy, cock, ass, everything. Right in their face. On Fansly, it was advertising porn, sure, but you'd still have to go out of your way to access it. It's legitimately no different than old commercials. Like when GoDaddy would use like, oh, here comes a strap coming off, go to GoDaddy.com to see it finishing. I can't believe we're reverting so hard. It's not even comparable. Aiden Ross bringing up legitimate porn out of nowhere that was immediately seen and accessible to everyone watching is not the same as go to this QR code to access porn. They're both bad for kids. Yeah, but one of them's immediately porn in their face. The other one is they have to go sign up and then say they're 18 years or older to access the porn. One of them, you put porn on a stream that has kids watching. The porn is immediately there. The dick, the balls, the pussy, the tits, the ass, it's all out. The other one is, here's an advertisement. Click this, then confirm you're 18 for the porn. It's not the same. In that case, why aren't we shaking our fists and getting outraged when we're driving down the road and seeing advertisement for strip clubs? Kids are in the car and they see those billboards. I see advertisements for strip clubs all the time going down I-4 when I'm going up north to Pennsylvania. There's kids in the cars and they see that. And some of those strip clubs have women in bikinis. But kids can't.
Sure, yeah. Again, like there's a difference between in-person place versus that. This seems like almost a defense run. There's no way he actually believes this because this is a really stupid argument. Saying that like billboards for strip clubs are the same as like a content creator with like a child audience, I guess, having a Fansly directly linked to them at an event that's not explicitly 18 plus. Like it is different. You don't have to care, but it's very different. The kid isn't going to be able to get to that club by himself, and he's probably not going to be able to get in because you could see him. It's easier to circumvent Fansly than it would be there, but okay.
Can't go inside
whatever.
the clubs. Right, but it's still advertising it to the kids. The kids probably also couldn't pay for the porn either. Or at least they shouldn't be able to, but I mean, in this day and age, parents aren't monitoring their kids, so maybe they do.
There you go. That's not a bad argument. That's a decent argument.
But it's still, the point stands. It was an advertisement that led to porn. It wasn't immediately putting porn in their face.
look
It
at
was you
this.
would go there
Oops.
to get the porn where you would sign up as 18 years or older.
What the
That is
fuck?
the exact same principle of, here's a strip club with women in bikinis. This is where you go
Jesus.
to access it and kids see it.
Okay.
It's the same principle. And it's not even close to the same thing as I called weird with Aiden Ross, where he literally just pulled up real porn in front of them. It's not even close. It's a bad faith argument that's not even comparable.
Bad
Why are you
faith.
talking
We
about
gotta-
this?
we
Because
gotta
that
love
video,
debate
which I thought was a
terms,
troll, because it seemed like it was just supposed to be a joke, but it looks like a lot of
Bro,
people.
there's just no way he believes this. There's no way he thought it was a troll because of the edits. Like he knew it was like a serious points that were being made. He keeps calling it a troll. It's just nobody in their right mind would think this.
Or really running with that narrative.
We
of
gotta finish this
it's
video, 'cause this is
completely
stupid as shit. Honestly.
hypocritical that I had laughed at
whole thing
Fansly
is-
being at the Streamer
I've
Awards
given
and said
this,
it was weird when Aiden Ross pulled up actual
I've given this too much attention. You guys are like, oh, watch this. Oh my god, I'm fucking my brain's gonna melt.
Pornhub on his stream out of nowhere. It's so silly. It's an outrageous claim to make.
Outrageous.
No, it's not even one guy. It's like a whole bunch of people.
Truly,
That for some reason think
outrageous.
Well, it's not my kind of content anyway. I don't really like the zoomer jingling keys of like constant sound effects and like copyright music blaring that you hear a million times on TikTok. It's not my kind of content, but it's not gonna have a problem with it either. I thought it was supposed to be just jokes, but it seems like she's trying to make them real arguments. Or if it's not her, the community is. I think it's just baiting and people are biting. That was the impression I got.
I'm
This has been
not
like a
seeing
week
a
now.
singular
I thought it was all supposed to be ironic,
fucking-
but I guess I didn't make it to the audience.
What is
I think
this?
the community's upset she got demonetized, so they're blaming it on the group.
PvP area?
There's no mystery when she got demonetized if that's true. Half of that video is literally just copyrighted music.
Oh, let me get
There's
down
no
here.
like conspiracy there, I doubt. If that's even true. I don't know, that's just one guy, so that could just be a fucking lie. She got demonetized because she attacked a lot of big names. I've never heard of anyone on YouTube being demonetized because they made fun of Twitch streamers. I think the most likely
That's
case is
true.
all of the copyrighted music. Her comparison was asked to the point of a Fansly ad being bad for a minor-based audience still holds. Well, then extend it to all of Twitch because minors can easily just go to the hot tub category right now, and you get a lot more pornography out of that than that one Fansly ad. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
Would they demonetize your channel if you used a lot of copyrighted music? Interesting.
Of course, advertising Fansly, OnlyFans, or anything in front of an audience that has younger children on it, it's always going to be not a great decision. It's one of
Bro,
those
I
things,
can't believe I'm not
She
in front of
goes against the
single
hot tub category
dungeon
next to
so
reinvigorate
far.
that fucking ancient
Wild.
debate. She was advertising to people. Twitch advertises the hot tub category. Log in or don't log into Twitch. Go to the front page and you get recommended Taylor Javot every single day. Every single day. So Twitch itself is always pushing the hot tub category. So one bad makes the other good? No. But they can both be bad. But only one is what people are harping on now because it's the topical one. Keep the energy for both then. Otherwise, that
Well,
makes it
again, like if you criticized that, nobody ever answered me. Did Moist Critical size that? If you criticize like the hot tub streamers and you not explicitly criticizing this, especially when you first saw it, you can be interpreted as like some kind of like support. But
critical as well. She says that I have defended the promotion of porn to kids. She likes to tell her audience that I have without ever showing any clips of me doing it because it hasn't happened. That is a blatant, bold-faced lie. I've never once said that what she did was good or defended it. Do you have any evidence to back that up? Defending it in any way?
I mean, I think his argument here is that it's explicitly saying it's okay. This isn't, but yeah, I don't know if you really win this argument here.
Defending something means supporting or justifying it, whether actively or passively. Comparing something to worse things or pointing fingers at others.
Bro, there's no fucking way I've seen a single dungeon so far.
The big difference between him and the other streamers shows what Hypocr1tikal is trying to do. Bringing up 5 different things to deflect criticism and avoid addressing the specific issue at hand is a tactic of whataboutism to avoid accountability for your actions. He didn't want to focus on the subject and address it directly, so he deflected and brought up unrelated examples to justify the ad. That's why he also constantly calls me a troll and say that I have no real arguments, because this distracts you from the real subject and dismisses the substance of my points. If he really cared about the subject, he wouldn't keep attacking me on every video and live stream. The next day, this got clipped to livestream fails where XQC reacted to it and disagreed with most.
What's your goal? Is advertising fans lead to your audience will always be another decision.
The comparison was asked for the point of a Fansly ad being bad for a minor-based audience still holds. Well, then extend it to all of Twitch, because minors can easily just go to the hot tubs category right now, and you get a lot more pornography out of that than that one Fansly ad.
A Fansly with a bleached butthole on direct view is not the same as somebody wearing a bikini. Okay? And equating the bikini to pornography is factually incorrect. Therefore, the argument falls flat and
got him.
See, there's a difference between being in a bathing suit, advertising it, being fully naked. There is a nuance here that's important.
Well, then extend it to all of Twitch, because minors can easily just go to the hot tubs category right now.
Don't blame the system for your behavior, because they do partial and you want to go full on. Don't do it. It's like it. If I say, yo guys, the platform guys has people that are partially naked. Why be fully naked? Because don't hate the player, hate the game. Nah, you're an idiot. Yeah, that's just fucking right there. That's just
damn, dude.
Once Hypocr1tikal got scared, I made a video to his main channel with
Base
12
XQC,
million
right?
subscribers, where he for some reason brings me up and keeps attacking me again. In this video, he repeatedly diminished me on how dishonest and troll I am, and even started lying about me. Not
I don't know if I'd call it attacking. I mean, you criticize him, he's just shooting back. Although his criticisms back seem to be somewhat dishonest, guys. Here's a dungeon, fucking finally.
Upset about him.
But she does seem genuinely upset at me, and I imagine
He did criticize it a while ago when it was a hot topic. Oh, okay, then there you go. Like, yeah, he's engaging in some level of hypocrisy, though. Yeah, sure. We figured it out, boys. I have no fucking potions. Wait, I have one right here. Ooh, there we go.
did say I'm not the biggest fan of the way she edits her content, and that's just never been my cup of tea. It's just not something that I'm personally a huge fan of, the same way that she doesn't like my content.
And lies that he had already admitted that it was wrong and didn't understand the issue here. This lie put his whole audience against me, thinking I was a hater. So all these fans attacked my social medias, but this time I'm being called a troll and a liar. All of this while
shout out to all the haters.
Channel reacted to Moist video on me, never reacted to my video, of course. Hazen never reacted to Hypocr1tikal's video about me in his livestream, never reacted to my video either, of course. I was really disappointed because Hypocr1tikal did this to deflect the drama from his wrongdoing. So now he doesn't need to take accountability.
What were Ludwig's and Hassan's perspective? Did they just agree with Hassan? I mean, sorry, with Moist Critical, or did they go like? Because it does seem a little bizarre that you would. Did they respond to anything else? Because you know you can't really. You gotta watch both sides, no, in order to engage in that. But I guess it's easy, like, React's content to put up on, like, your fucking React page or whatever.
For anything, because everyone was attacking me. He then went live again and kept on talking about me, but this time kept lying even more.
X talking about you right now? Oh, about the new video? I imagine it's whatever MewKitty says. I just can't even understand there's a real debate. I know MewKitty's really upset, but I'd like her to put her money where her mouth is. We'll see how closely related they are. And then saying that, yeah, that was uncomfortable and not good. Oh, I'm not even talking about X. I just saw MewKitty's response after I posted the video. It was her just once again saying cope. Like I said, I'm pretty sure she just trolls, but she seems like legitimately upset. And again, I'm saying if she really feels that way, then in her next video she needs to play the unedited, uncensored Aiden Ross Pornhub moment, and then play the QT Cinderella one so we can all see them being laid bare. If we're gonna talk about verification, then you would still need to verify you're 18 to see the porn with Fansly. The one that I talked about immediately after it happened, and then the one I didn't talk about immediately after it happened, I laughed and then said later, wow, that was kind of weird. It's very much going in circles here. That's her whole point. Why does she keep bringing me up and harping on me, not harping on you? She made 3 tweets about me today alone. What are you talking about? Or MewKitty's here. I'd love to talk to her.
I was put in a situation where if I just kept making funny videos as usual, I was now just a troll making drama of lies that didn't exist. I started to understand why small creators are so scared of calling out big creators. So I had to make a decision on how I can clear my name from the millions of people deceived by him. I needed to make a video where I brought video evidence of every lie.
It's kind of true. I mean,
became a member.
Hey, thank you so much for the large gut, BGYT. I appreciate that, brother. There is like a level of truth to that. Like some people will be afraid to like have leverage any criticism against any larger creator just because like, you know, it doesn't matter. Like people, like either the audience could potentially attack them, whether you're right or wrong, or they could just like ignorantly say whatever they want, you know, and people will still believe them. Which partially seems to be the case here for Moist. Not that any of this matters, right? So.
He made, so nobody in any way could keep calling me a liar. It took me days to make this video because there were so many lies, but I needed to do it. So I called out Hypocr1tikal to debunk this, so he would admit to being wrong and we could both move on from this. So I released the video, but was in shock when I got a 40-minute main channel video from Hypocr1tikal again, thinking it was an apology video, but saw a title that was I'll take the bait. So now even the title was painting me as a cloud chaser. But this video wouldn't even exist if he didn't make all those lies. I was defending myself against all the lies he made about me. His following sentence in the video was, I'm not going to waste time and prove that I'm not lying. And that's when I knew this was never about the subject.
I didn't just ignore it. That is just a blatant lie.
Okay, where's the clip?
I don't want to be guilty of the same sin MewKitty's already committed of making a claim without
shit, she's a Chud Logic watcher. What a dirty dog. No, I'm just kidding. That's cool. I forgot to eat my fucking beef stew though, so it's taking a little longer to do this.
Evidence to back it up. I cannot provide the clip of where I replied to chat about the Fansly promotion being weird because I don't fucking feel like combing through 14.
Oh no, bud. You're doing a 41-minute response and you're saying that the one piece of evidence that would have cleared you of probably half of the lies. You just don't feel like it?
I don't fucking feel like combing through 14 hours worth of streams today and the day after the streamer.
Oh my god, that is insane. I cannot believe it. What? He's so full of shit. It's unbelievable. Oh, I don't believe in saying something without evidence. He says something without evidence and then goes, well, I've got an excuse, so it's fine. Give me a fucking break. The audacity of this guy. He's been super disingenuous as well. He runs my company. If I wanted to find a clip of something to clear my name in some drama, he could pay someone the money he makes in 2 minutes off of his fucking platforms. Just go find it if he really wants to. What the actual fuck? Reason I think he's lying about this. Why not just put the effort to find it if it truly existed? 2, if there was a clip of Moist criticizing the stream rewards for the Fansly ad, that would have been an LSF clip. That would have 100% gone on LSF and caused a little slice of drama. Definitely.
Yeah, that's fair. Actually.
For it, I'm not going to use this as a point in my defense. So going forward, we're going to work on the assumption that
Wait, that is so disingenuous. You've said it. He's said it. But he's fucking said it. What? Oh, I've said something, but actually that doesn't count.
If you say that you've said something, but you're not bothered to go back in time and find it, that's a little bit telling on you that you're not bothered to prove yourself correct. You're just going to ignore it, but then say, I'm just going to leave it out altogether. But you've already said the thing, so how do you want people to forget about that now? So then, where are the clips? I did say this, here's the clip. I didn't say this, here's the clip. Where's the clips?
I don't know how anybody could watch this and think that he has a single good point. He doesn't understand how time works. He doesn't understand the criticisms that are being levied at him. He's not responding to the criticism. He's responding to the criticisms he wants to respond to. He's controlling the narrative and acting like people are complaining about something else because he's a larger creator who has a larger audience. Therefore, he can make the narrative what he wants.
His goal was
Bro, it's so weird watching these guys because like they're all right, but it's so fucking cringe. Bro, I swear to God, someone was assassinated based on the energy that they're using. Like, it's like, oh, he's a fucking hypocritical. Like, yeah, he's wrong here, and he's being kind of a baby about it, and, you know, same sometimes, you know.
just to take me down and name it as dishonest and evil as possible. This way, nothing I would ever provide mattered. Every evidence I had got brushed off as out of context since I'm not painted as a liar. Right here, I realized that there was nothing I could do. Thinking this was done, Hypocritical continues to talk about me again. I'm still confused on why I'm being called a cloud chaser. Because my video was a defense of his lies and pointing out his hypocrisy.
Where are you,
he even
pussy?
edited out an entire part of my video where I show hard evidence of him lying. But since he pauses every 2 minutes and talks for 10, the viewer didn't even notice it. And his best friend Hazen Navi, he permanently banned anyone that brought up my name and even banned my channel from his Reddit. And even Hazen Navi's editor talked about me on his Twitter. They are so entitled that they didn't realize that they were just proving my point even further. None of them reacted to any of my videos. They were all defending each other in a vacuum and just reacted to each other's videos. And in this way, no one gets to even hear my side. Days later, they bring me up on their podcast again and talk about how dishonest I am and how he wanted to give me a chance, but I realized I was just doing it for the views.
It's a little bit scary. We don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but you responded to trolls. Yeah. You did it not only once, but twice. True. And I have a lot of opinions on this because I used to be like that as well. But I think that it's ultimately unproductive because I feel like they benefit more from you giving them legitimacy, especially if they're coming at it from not like the standpoint of constructive criticism, but instead simply to gain clout. How do you feel about that?
So,
Hassan always just like says every time someone criticizes him, it's just for clout. Every single time, bro. It's fucking wild. What a goober. That's so funny, dude.
The way I look at it is I always give people the benefit of the doubt that where they're coming from is a place of good intentions. And I feel like at the core, there was...
Bro, you literally thought that her entire video was a troll and she didn't say anything. You can't make that argument. This is a pussy. I invaded this guy's dungeon trying to fuck his butt. Am I right, guys? Put it right in his anus.
The conversation we had about the topic, regardless of who was opining on it. So, like, it wasn't just a troll. Like, I still feel like other people had legitimate criticism of it. So I wanted to tackle it more from that perspective while also maintaining that I disagreed with certain aspects of the situation. I understand where you're coming from, but I always view everyone as coming from a place of, like, actual care, even though I know that's not always...
Oh, fuck, I fucked up. I didn't come in the right build. This kid's gonna shit in my balls.
For the other party, I don't think it was an accident that, like, shots were fired in your direction almost immediately after the Sneeko thing.
I understand that kind of personality exists. I just never really believe it till I see it. Because I just feel like people naturally don't want to foster a community like that.
Bro, like dude, I'm taking so many L's today, bro. I didn't come in with my fucking the right ability build, so I can't change in the dungeon. I'm just gonna give up tonight. I'm too tired. I'm fucking playing like a stupid asshole. I invaded his dungeon. I still got my fucking shit pushed, dude.
Yeah, I just feel like no one really wants that kind of audience.
Maybe if you didn't edit like a 12-year-old, people would take you seriously. Bro, that's not what I'm saying. Everybody knows that what she was saying is seriously. Her editing is irrelevant to her serious point. Everybody knew she was being serious. Nobody could properly interpret that as she was kidding. Like, yeah, the editing is bad, but nobody, like, unironically thought she was just trolling the whole time. So he was in, like, there's no way that he thought that. He's being, like, intentional when it came to that, like, silly point.
In the first place, so it wouldn't be, like, if it happens, it's something I didn't plan on, or things got misunderstood or lost in translation.
I agree with you. I do think that some people do want that because they see the short-term benefits, and they don't necessarily think about the long-term consequences of having an audience like that. I've said this to a lot of people who do this kind of content over and over again, that, like, it's not a sustainable business model for you if you're a content creator, and you're, like, constantly going after, like, whoever you think is, like, on the downtrend, and, like, pile onto it and, you know, cut commentary, no matter how silly it might seem. You might actually get, like, a bunch of haters of that person to come and watch your channel for that brief duration, but your view counts are gonna drop off immediately afterwards because they're not there for you. They're not necessarily there for your commentary. They're there to just, like, shit on the person.
Maybe. I guess.
Because they don't like him for whatever reason. And
That doesn't mean that like there's no criticism to be had in some content creators named Hassan.
and it creates a very toxic space for them.
I don't think that was Charlie's motivation by any means. Why did you choose to respond?
That's not what I was talking about.
No, that's what I'm saying. Because, like I said, I think there really wasn't more discussion to be had on it. Like, I recognize that I also wasn't super clear, so I thought it was maybe a big misunderstanding on the whole situation and things getting tossed around and getting lost. Now I recognize that that was never really the intention behind it, to have a
The
conversation
rest of
about.
the video, them jerking themselves off in like this dumb space of like a bunch of losers, is so stupid.
But even still, I just never subscribe to the belief that people want that for their own personal community, right?
Well, I'm here to tell you that they certainly do.
It's possible. It's just, I don't know. I just don't like to believe people enjoy that, because that's just existing in a perpetual shit headspace surrounded by.
I just feel like this is the most like terminally online fucking group of people right now. Like, holy fuck, you guys are all getting together and you're upset about like some stupid video where a girl called you out and she was right, and it doesn't really matter that much. And instead of just being like, yeah, you know what, I didn't really realize it, I should have said something more in the time, my bad. Like, you go like on a fucking cope stream and then you mention like one time like, well, I guess you got me on this one point, which was like the whole video. And it's like stupid, dude. This whole thing is just like silly goosery, you know?
People that you also probably don't even like.
Yeah, no, literally. I think it is very toxic. And there are a lot of spaces like that online, especially in like the lolcow side of things, where like there's a lot of communities that basically gravitate towards that kind of content, because I think we're living in dark times overall. And I think that the more things seem uncertain, the more people's futures look worse and worse, the more they gravitate towards that kind of thing. It's just another kind of disease of despair. Whether some people go to alcohol, some people go to drugs, some people go to gambling.
Bro, this is just Hassan. Is like, if it was somebody intelligent making these points, I would be like, maybe. But Hassan literally is a fucking baby that like justified, and he apologized for this already, but he like when people criticize him for justifying Russia invading Ukraine, this is the take he has for it. Like, just shut the fuck up. Like, you're such a dishonest baby, dude. Every bit of criticism everyone's ever leveraged against me has been false, and it's just them trying to clout ride my name, baby. It's like, okay.
And then others go towards this kind of commentary and content that like
all right, hurry up.
Feel good, but it at least makes them feel better in comparison to whoever they see on a pedestal that's like being brought down a peg. It's like this
This kind of Hassan's content sometimes, yeah. Okay.
There's a place for it, I think, and I do think that constructive criticism is an absolute necessity. I think it's a very good thing. I just feel like a lot of the people that take advantage of that better nature of content creators end up making it harder for everyone to even have a charitable and constructive conversation.
Okay.
That was a powerful segment. That's a good segment. Especially piggybacking off of wieners and
I know. This is what we like to do.
We really covered everything. We can go out on a lighter note. You are a cock expert. What nickname do you have for your penis?
I've never nicknamed it.
That's
You guys felt that was an intelligent and interesting segment? Holy fuck. These people are literally like, this is what happens, bro. Like, literally, this is what we talk about when, like, these guys have made a lot of money and now they're just disconnected from fucking reality. Like, this whole situation is stupid, but you guys just got on a podcast and like jerked yourselves off. This is so stupid. Something's so fucking dumb, dude.
That these big creators will do anything to
Hurry
take
up,
down
hurry up,
anyone
hurry
that
up.
criticizes
I'm
them,
over
even
this,
though
I'm
the
tired.
content is about criticizing anyone and anything with a pulse. The problem wasn't that I didn't have enough evidence, since he had 12 million subscribers and I only got 30k. And this is the reason why so many creators and streamers are scared of even having an opinion on something because of the consequences. It's like talking against a popular kid in school. You could do it, but do you really want to be left alone and eat lunch alone every day?
Yes, this way nobody will judge me when I eat two people's lunches.
Me clout chaser because of Hypocritical's title and baiting manipulation. So let's put it to test and see reality for what it is. This is how many videos and livestream Moist Critical alone has talked about me. And this is how many videos I've made about Hypocritical.
I think this is your third one. Whatever.
I hope this video can help you see how he and his friends try to discredit me just because I criticized them.
Okay.
Should do the classic.
I didn't mean to press that button.
Imagine waking up.
Okay, guys, that was that drama. Nope, it's whole thing is fucking dumb. But it just kind of confirms more why I don't want to ever have any internet friends ever again, because this stuff is fucking so dumb and terminally online. It's embarrassing for everybody involved.